Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm sorry you had to listen to that. To session 15. By the way, if you want to invest in Lapita Loca, please DM me after the stream. Uh, does anybody want to give a recap of last week's session? All right, I will
Wait,
do it
no,
again.
no one wants to do a
No, I
recap.
already have inspiration, friends. Someone do it. No.
Yeah, no, you guys are you're cursing yourselves. It's fine.
We're inspired, but I mean, I guess I can do the recap. It's not in terribly too much. So last time on, Descent into Avernus, we had a shopping adventure for a long time. That was our
Yes.
bad. Uh, on our way to Candlekeep, we questioned ahead. So we got ahead in some information there. We questioned the Amric head. I think we questioned him for 3 or 4 days actually on various bits of information. Um, Learning more about the predicament we're in, but not fully grasping it until we got to Candle Cove and actually started talking to Silvira, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
We gave her the box. She opened the box. She confirmed pretty much what I guess we already knew that Creed had damned El Terrell, essentially, having it been the contract, and we assume it's an Avernus now. And then we all went off and started to research a couple things since we were at Candle Keep, which is full of a bunch of information, such as angel books and a Gargoth book, which we found out more about Gargoth, and a celestial book. So there was a descript Asmar book, and then one that was nondescript about just celestial beings. There. Oh, and we also made a small shopping stop at the wand
Yes.
shop.
You want shopping? There was more shopping. FYI, if you get to pick it to watch a recap video, I highly recommend episode 14. It was the most exciting shopping you will ever watch. Also, thank you for that recap on Tamila. Please gain inspiration if you don't already have it. Um, and thank you if you do. I still appreciate your contributions. Yeah. All right. So, you guys were recently shopping. What would you like to do?
The last thing I have that we did after the shopping, which I didn't write down what we bought, was that we went to the Herd Tavern to set up lodging and get food and
Yep.
decide what to do next. So I assume that's where we are right now.
Yeah, you are at your inn, if I recall, because some people had read books as well overnight and got some information.
Yeah, I found this tome of
Yeah, because that was
understanding
post-session information, I didn't write any of that stuff down, by the way. So
Yeah, that's okay. Books have been researched on certain things. All right, so you all get a full night's rest if you expended anything during the previous day. But after that, you are in Candlekeep, in the hearth. What would you like to do?
Okay, so coming into Candlekeep, someone might have mentioned the visual. Would I have been able to actually see the boat coming into Candlekeep?
See the boat coming into Candlekeep. What boat?
Okay, well, from what I'm looking at, there's a boat on a cliff.
Oh, neat.
huh.
I didn't notice it. I will say yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask about the boat on the cliff.
Okay, let's test the DM's improv skills.
Oh,
All right, who are you asking though?
ooh, that's a well. I'm in a tavern, so I guess I can ask the tavern slash innkeeper. I guess if it's a tavern, or if it's an inn, just an innkeeper. So yeah, let's ask the innkeeper. What's up with the boat on the cliff?
Yeah, sure. So the innkeeper would tell you that there's definitely been situations with Candlekeep. It's known for its large groupings of magicians, and the Candlekeep itself has a very long and tried history of magical experiments and practices. One time, well, it's actually kind of the story of how Candlekeep got its wards and why people thought it would be a good idea to kind of prevent conjuration magic from happening within the confines of Candlekeep. I don't know the details, but my understanding is that this is the result of a conjuration experiment gone wrong.
Interesting.
Conjuration magic can move things from one place to another if you didn't know. You look like someone that knows a little bit about magic. But yeah, it just I have heard rumors that it's an experiment gone wrong.
And so they just left the boat there?
I suppose there's not much you could do with a boat that is impaled on a rocky spire. I mean, I guess they could have destroyed it, but it looks kind of interesting, don't you think? Perhaps brings tourists, more books for us, more business here. Fairly inaccessible, but still looks pretty neat.
When did this happen?
A long time ago. It has weathered many storms. I could have been hearing a rumor, though, so...
Huh. Is there a way to get to the boat?
Not through mundane means.
Oh.
If you had flight or teleportation capabilities. I'm sure it's been picked, though.
Probably. Okay, thank you.
You are quite welcome. And he kind of looks at you expectantly.
Is this tavern or innkeep, or is it like both?
This is a tavern, but it has a inn as well. That's where you stayed the night.
Just double checking. Then, yeah, I'll also order a beer, like an ale.
All right. He will bring you a drink and nod. And you haven't tasted it yet, but it looks right proper for a place that's filled with what you would imagine to be stuffy wizard types.
Okay, and I'll hand him over 2 gold coins.
Oh, wow. He looks pleasantly surprised and enthusiastically thanks you. If there's anything else you want to know, please ask.
Will do.
All right.
For frame of reference, the rooms are 1 gold a night, folks.
You guys are slanging that money because you can't spend it because you can't roll.
Yeah.
Fair.
You might as well make friends with everybody. Rhea sees you downstairs, Antamila, and sits down next to you and orders a drink as well. And casually tries to start up a conversation with you. And she asks, so, based on what you've learned, what are you all going to do next?
I down my drink. It appears, for me at least, all threads to what I'm trying to look for have gone to hell. So I'm going to have to go there too.
She kind of, her drink arrives and she takes a nervous sip and she says, what do you mean?
I order another drink. So I explained to her what happened to my father's boat from the one eyewitness that I guess swam away.
Yeah, he had a boat, by the way. The guy that got away was on like a
lifeboat.
Yeah, or a ferry. What are they called? Tender boats? The ones that can go from the yeah, side boat.
Yeah. Okay. So from the lesser boat that got away from the other boat that scooped itself up out of the water. Well, And after I explained that, I explained that I was asking my mother about what happened, and she disappeared. And now I seem to have some sort of connection to the cult of Tiamat. And since these weren't my actual parents, they found me, and just go over the whole backstory. And Tiamat is sort of in Avernus. That's sort of my only lead right now.
Avernus. That's the place that was mentioned by the wizard we met yesterday.
Mm.
Huh. How would you do that?
I don't know.
Oh. And she kind of looks a little sad, and she's like taking very ginger sips of her drinks. You can tell she doesn't drink a lot, and she's like grabbing the little tankard of ale with two hands and taking little sips and putting it down.
I'm gonna check later drinking efforts and down my second drink. It's like, hence the reason I'm drinking and thinking.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, if you find a way, please tell me, because I'm interested in going as well.
Oh, why are you interested in going?
Isn't it obvious? And she kind of like leans back in the bar chair and kind of like shows her symbol of El Terrell on her armor. She says, I've heard that from the conversation we had yesterday, someone intends to claim my soul. I plan on stopping that.
By rushing off to meet them for them to claim it. Wouldn't running as far away from Avernus and Elturel be probably the best interest for you?
I don't know about such things, but I do know that the people I'm sworn to protect are also in trouble. If there's a way that I could get to them and help them, I want to know how. Not just for myself, but for the people of El Turel.
Oh, you're going to go and try and save the people that might still be down there. Huh, that's noble. Crazy.
If there's survivors, they might be able to help you, too.
You have a point.
It's been some days, though. I'm really nervous. If the place is as described in Tales of the Hell Riders, it certainly doesn't seem to be a place for normal people, but if a lot of the knights survived, I suppose there's hope. They've trained their entire lives for fighting devils. They're good at what they do. There's a possibility. No, there's a probability, high probability, that my friends are still okay.
There's hope. Hope they're still alive.
She kind of nods and takes a bigger sip of her drink.
I nod at her growing alcoholism.
Yeah. She kind of turns to you and says, is this supposed to taste like... She has like a disgusted look on her face, but then she takes another sip of it.
If you're concerned about the taste, you're not doing it right. And I down a third one.
Alright, after this one, if you're starting to drink more, we're going to start to make constitution saves for Drunk on Tamila. That's a lot of alcohol in a very short 30-second time frame.
Well, I'm sorry. We're getting a whole bunch of information about hell. Any normal-minded person might not want to be sober.
No, it's not unreasonable. It's certainly not unreasonable. Again, she's doing something you would imagine is very uncharacteristic for her as well. That's like true. She's like a knight. She's probably a little nervous of very anti-evil things, and she just got news that her soul is forfeit. So.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd screw up most people.
She says, I plan on just asking around the keep to see if anybody knows how that could be done. If there's perhaps, I don't know, magic portals. I remember that there was when you were talking about those the cultists of Tiamat, I believe it was. They had a teleportation circle of some sort. So maybe similar magic exists elsewhere. I don't. Again, I this is certainly outside of my realm of understanding, but it has to be possible, right?
Well, if it's definitely possible magically, we should be able to definitely find out here. I'd be surprised if Silvira knows how to get there.
Silvira. She kind of leaves a couple of silver coins on the bar and pats you on the shoulder and says, "Well, let me know if you find anything." And she kind of abruptly leaves.
Will do.
She's peacing out.
Whoa, Willion's here. Brr, 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 brr. All right. What do you guys want to do? You are still in the hearth.
From my side of things, I would imagine I would be working with Edmund to read over my book and gather more information.
That's up to Edmund. Edmund, are you doing that?
You, I think. Well,
Yeah.
I think it was Infernal, right?
Yeah, I think whatever you got the book, the person mentioned it was Infernal, and I think Edmund spoke up and said that he can read and speak Infernal.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Miller also did, so both of us should be able to assist with that. But yeah, I can definitely help out with that.
So I think he would be concentrating on trying to get information from the book.
Yeah. Well, that I assume that some of this stuff was done overnight. If you're doing that throughout the day too, you will certainly find it faster. Because if I recall, yours, the one on Gargalth, and the
Mine is
one on
Intec.
yeah, but there
But it was
was
a different name.
exactly. So I was gonna have you roll for it to determine what percentage of the book, you kind of find it in, like 100 being the very end and 1 being at the very beginning. So if you could,
Yes.
Edmund or Eldrin,
Or-
roll a 1d100.
I guess Edmund is reading it for me, so I'll let him roll.
Ooh,
Sure.
no pressure.
Let's see.
98, 98, 98.
80.
Close.
Oof.
I'm
Alright.
assuming higher is better, right?
Well, no, I said 100's towards the end of the book, and
No.
1 is right at the beginning. So yeah, how long? I don't read books, friends. How long does it take to read like a generous sized novel? In regards to
Compare it to a book that you think is long.
Like
oh
cred
man, you're about to
level
nerds
or-
cred slam me. I'm not answering that question. I'm just gonna say let's just assume the book. I'm gonna give a page count. I don't even know if this is high or low.
Sure.
The page count is going to be /roll 200 plus 431 pages.
One
That's
and a half
very
days.
small.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that take like 10 to 12 hours probably at that.
Okay, so I will say that you got through 8 last night. You could do like light activities, and you weren't at the end of the day when you went to the hearth. So by the middle of today, you will have the information that we talked about. From this book, if you spend the beginning of your day continuing through it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Edmund's willing to help with that. The only other thing that he wants to pressingly do is go through the other books as well, which I'm assuming other people are doing. Like Anthony Miller has the book on Asimar and Celestials in general, and I'm assuming that she's probably going through that while we're going through this.
So, if I recall, Aunt Tamila had 2 other books, right?
Just
I think maybe 3.
Haha, the Asimar book. Derek had the Celestial book, and I was going to go look for another book today, if possible.
I thought you asked about a Tiamat book as
Yes,
well.
that
Or
was
did I
the
get-
one.
Did I get the Tiamat book? Did I already get it?
No, you did not.
Yeah.
You have to go
Yeah.
because it's in like kind of forbidden
Yeah.
knowledge area. But you would be given clearance and go ahead, just like with the Gargoyle book, by name dropping Silvira. So it's just that you kind of need to actually do that and ask about it. They're not just gonna let you take it off the shelves, sort of thing.
Of course.
I
So
forgot. Go ahead, Kenny.
I was just gonna say, in my notes, I have that Eldrin has the known infernal dealings of the Pit Fiend Gargelth.
Yep.
Then Anthony Miller has a book on Asimar simply titled Asimar.
Yep.
A book on Celestials that's a book on Celestials in general that I don't have a title for. And then Derek has a book on first-hand encounters with Zariel, which is untitled. And then Anthony Miller asked about the Tiamat book, which didn't have access to currently.
First-hand encounters with Zariel.
That's what I wrote.
I don't know what that is.
No, that's what Derek is trying to find.
You're trying to find that. Okay.
Yeah,
Currently
first-hand.
Oh yeah. To be fair, my
First-hand
note-
encounters.
Rereading it, my note says looking for literature. The Witch is Untitled is for the Celestial. I mixed my notes.
Correct. Yeah, that makes more sense because the book on Celestials would have been the book that has this information, but it's not written in like a. This was the other book that kind of required looking through.
Okay, so Gargelth book, Asimar book titled Asimar, Celestial book that's untitled.
Wanna get
Derek's
the book
looking for a Zariel book, but we didn't find anything. And
Okay.
then Tiamat book, but that's in Forbidden Knowledge section.
Yep.
Got it. On the same page.
Okay, so do we want to go ahead and get the book rolls out the way?
What are you trying to find on Tamila?
Specifically, well, now that I already realized the Asimar, like specifically what kind of Asimar and what how would he have came about? Just basically more information about Edmund.
Yeah, so this is an entire the entire book is about Asimar. Let me roll a page count. This one's shorter, but it's random. Oh wow.
Not by much.
Yeah. But it won't take you long, apparently. But you were not reading the book on Celestials then over the last night. You were kind of over yesterday and today kind of right now you're drinking, but
Yeah, I was reading this book and now drinking.
yeah, you're probably towards the tail end. I will say that you will have gathered most of the information about Asimar in general. You would know that there's several different types of Asimar. You would know the basics of their resistances and capabilities. You would know that Asimar in general are thought to have celestial divinity in their heritage. So that would mean in relation to things from the realm of celestial, so good aligned gods generally. You would know that between the different types of Asimar, there are various there are differences. You suspect from reading that Edmund would be classified as a quote-unquote protector Asimar, which is kind of the pure and uncorrupted version. But you would have also read about Scourge Asimar and what's the other one? Dang it.
Fallen.
Fallen Asimar. So yeah. You also the key piece of information with Scourge Asimar is that sometimes they can be corrupted by their power, which can damage them in different ways. They kind of can't control their inset divinity, and it can have various effects ranging from literally radiant beams of light firing out of their eyes, incessant ramblings about things.
Or not being able to stop things from decaying from the touch of your hand?
No.
Okay.
No. That would actually be kind of more related to probably something that would be a fallen Aasimar. They kind of have more of a necrotic motif. Hold on, there was another thing I wanted to give you from information.
Sorry.
No, it's... Dang it, it was relevant too. I feel bad. I should have wrote it down. That's good for now. The relevant information has been gleaned. Oh, I remember what it was. Also, you would know that very commonly, due to their heritage, they commonly have a... They're very rare, but they commonly will have a celestial guide that is helping them through life. Some sort of angelic being that is kind of pushing things in their favor to help the cause of good. So it could be varying sorts of celestial creatures, but generally it's of the type of like solars and planetars, like the more humanoid, angelic, stereotypical angelic types.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the information you get.
Okay.
A lot for it's a whole book on the subject. So if you need information about resistances and capabilities, let me know. I don't think it'll be relevant to you realistically, but if you ever decide to kill Edmund, you would know that he probably resists radiant damage.
And necrotic. And fire.
All right. Cool. Now, someone else had a book they were reading through. Right, Derek, you were looking through yours?
Yep.
Okay. This was a book on known celestial beings, if I recall. And a lot of it is kind of more like story. It's not like an index detailing information about creatures. It's just like deeds and acts and stuff like that. For yours, let me see whereabouts you would encounter Zariel in this book.
Yeah. So again, trying to find any reference to Zariel, relationship to the companion. I think that's kind of a primary focus.
Yeah.
Trying to understand, does that belong to her? Is it an artifact? Something kind of effectively, how does it work? And then any recorded encounters with Zariel or a companion.
Yeah, so this book won't have much information about the companion. It would have information about Zariel. And the information that it would provide. Well, let me see how far in this would be. Halfway through.
This is the Untitled book?
Yes. You're reading this book, and it's not structured. It's like poetic stories. Like I guess the closest thing would be like something similar to like biblical texts or other religious texts, is like tales and like little lesson learned sort of situations. Yeah, this is a short book too. And you find this halfway through. So you would find the information I'm going to give you pretty early into your reading. And it speaks relatively well of Zariel. Zariel is effectively known to be a crusader against things evil, specifically fiend kind. You would know that Zariel had trusted companions, and it would mention some of them by name. Crap. Sorry, loading notes, loading notes, loading notes. Dang it. I'm the most unprepared DM North America. One of them, I think, was Gavriel, who was known to be a commander under Zariel in her raid of Avernus. Did I get that name right, Kenny? Is that the name of your angel thing? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Basically Gabriel, but with a V.
Yeah, Gabriel.
However you want to pronounce it. I never thought about the pronunciation.
Okay. And then another name would be mentioned. Two other names, actually, that would be relevant. You would know that she had a second in command that went by the name of... Please show me where you are. Son of a bee.
Gabriel or Zariel will have a second in command?
So Gavriel was like a commander under Zariel during the raid against Avernus. But the other name is the second in command, which is not like under Gavriel. It's
under Zariel, okay.
Yeah, it's direct report to Zariel. And I cannot find the name because I'm a potato. Alright, give me just a second because it is relevant info. You would also get the name of her mount that she rode into combat. And it was a giant golden mastodon that went by the name of Lulu.
Lulu?
Yeah. A giant golden mastodon.
It's pretty strong. Triceratops.
Saber-toothed tiger.
Saber-toothed tiger!
Tyrannosaurus! Okay. But there actually wouldn't be references to the companion in this book. I'm still looking up the name, by the way. Wouldn't be references to the companion, though. It seems like that was probably an event that happened after. And, again, companion was thought to have been brought in by Torm. But I guess the connection is you know that Zariel's name means companion of light. But yes. And then the contract, obviously. Oh, Kenny's back. He's done eating.
Yeah, I'm off and on.
But unfortunately, not much information about what you're looking about, Alex, unfortunately, in this book. Where the hell is this guy's name, dude? It's making me mad. Alright, what else do you guys want to do? There's reading going on.
Well, did we actually go over what Edmund learns for Elder?
Oh, we didn't. And unfortunately, I don't remember all this. Oh, no, I do. This was the information. I actually have this one written down very specifically for the fact that you find the name of Fernwender under a different entry. While kind of browsing through the book and seeing various infernal dealings, and you don't know how much legitimacy there is in them, but you know you're keeping an eye on. You're specifically looking for Fernwender, and in the literature you find that after a deal with Gargalth, a spring Eladrin by the name of Fernwender was brought to Avernus and is now a resident by the name of Smiler the Defiler.
Does it say anything about?
They say that his deal, ultimately, followed by the untimely failure of his intentions of the deal, drove him to extreme madness. They don't say much else aside from that, except that apparently he was given this name due to his unnerving smile. He is... You would know that, I think based on the previous check, you would determine that Spring Eladrin would be pretty powerful from the form of fey creatures in general when you were doing your checks with the elf guy outside of the town.
Right.
So you suspect that it would be probably something pretty powerful at this point as well. But not a lot of details except for he lost his sanity apparently after the deal did not give him ultimately what he wanted in the end. Lessons learned. Don't deal with devils, boys.
So the deal didn't give him what he didn't get. Gargant what he wanted.
No, so
I'm trying to figure out if he did he go back on the deal or not?
He did not. The devils literally can't do that. Well,
no, sorry, I meant Fernwinder.
No, so Fernwinder agreed to make a deal of unspecified sorts with a devil that went by the name of Gargal in order to protect the forest. The forest would have been known by a different name. This is information you know, but this is information that Eldrin picked up a bit from the book.
Right.
Okay.
And ultimately, the deal was to prevent a negative thing from happening to the forest.
Okay.
And ultimately, the prevention did happen. And the devil upheld his end of the bargain. But there was a bit of inevitability caused by the saving of the forest. And humans ended up in cursing into it anyway. And utilizing it to build a majority of what is today known as Waterdeep.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Also, I'm still looking for this damn guy's name. It's really making me mad.
Whose name?
Second in command to Zariel. I found it. Yale. Yael.
Yale.
Yale.
Harvard, Yale.
Yael.
Yale. You got it. There's references to other companions, but they're said to have been slain. Another general that went by the name of Lanthus, and another general that went by the name of Haruman. But they were supposedly killed in the battle. They never saw Zariel leave, but they saw her get overwhelmed and captured, at the very least. And it was a similar fate for Yale, allegedly.
And that's in the book?
Yeah. There was survivors that ran and left. Like, the Hell Riders that went, not all of them died. They went in with her, and they fought devils and... well, devils. And they did a lot of work, but they realized that they kind of weren't going to win the situation and started to get overwhelmed. And then a lot of them retreated. So, not all of them died together. People did survive that raid into Avernus. Alright. Lore drops, boys.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of them.
yeah. I would want to do stuff with that, but we can get... Or did we get every...
I'm assuming this is all learned, this is probably all learned separately, and then we have to info dump each other at some point.
Yeah, and you guys actually got pretty good rolls on the books, too. Because they weren't very long. They were pretty niche subjects, I suppose. Or I just don't know enough about books, and you all took advantage of poor innocent me. I was giving you goosebump page numbers.
No, not that small. Like, to put it in perspective for you, I know it was audiobooks, but 400 and something is about the size of the first few Dresden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so lengthy, but not like, they're not like, the later Dresden books or Game of Thrones or the Bible or anything like that.
Yeah, none of these were meant to be, like, crazy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 400 something is probably a fairly average, like, fantasy novel, I'd say.
Okay. Jeez, you guys can power through those. Fair enough. Alright, so you've learned things. What would you like to do? Again, I'll say all of you are finished by early afternoon.
I would want to talk. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
I'll just kind of mosey around looking kind of at the griffins and ask about the service and the order.
Yeah, so
the costs, how much it costs, what are the restrictions, how many do we get, so on. Those just basic questions.
Yeah, in general, the Griffin service is only used by the mages of the keep. It's not like generally something that they just have random people fly off and use.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not like a service cost or anything like that. It's if you're acting on Candlekeep business is when they generally get used.
Or if you're in the Stormwind.
Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing.
Something about Fernwind, I think. Stormwind.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not Stormwind. You're not paying to go to Stranglethorn Vale to gang poor lobies.
Did you hear they're making Burning Crusade Classic, by the way, Donald?
I've heard rumors. I'd stay away. I have to stay away. I would lose my life.
Join me in the Burning Crusade, Donald.
It was my favorite game for a very long time. I'm not being distracted by World of Warcraft. We're playing D&D, boys.
Yeah, we are.
Come on. Keep your head in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
World of
All right.
Warcraft.
That's all I have for now.
Okay.
So, just to... I don't remember. Did Savira imply that the Griffin service could be something we could use as one of our favors, though?
You think that you could probably ask her to do so, yeah?
Gotcha. Okay. We've used 2 so far?
Yeah, I don't even remember what you used them on, but you used 2 of the 3 she was
I
going
think
on.
one was access to the library.
Oh yeah, she gave you guys the hookup to the text. Oh, that's right. Aunt Tamila was looking into Tiamat literature.
Yep.
Yeah, I just assumed we had to wait to get that for some reason.
No. It's just a matter of specifically asking for it. They want to know who has... Like, a lot of this library is fairly open. You see people just going in, grabbing books, finding a seat, and just reading there in the Great Library. Some people take them out with them. The understanding is that people don't leave the keep with them, obviously. And you would have been kind of inferred based on the conversation there's no way to get in or out magically. And you know that they seem to have ways of seeing if people, or if books are, I guess, quote-unquote, in stock. You've seen some of the monks kind of grab an amulet on their chest and think, and it glows, and they have some sort of cataloging going on here. So for Tiamat literature, it would be the same guy that handed out information about Gargouth.
Of course.
By the way, can I assume that all of you are returning your books? Nobody's trying to steal them or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Matter of fact, I return my book before I go get the Tiamat book.
Okay, fair. Yeah, and the man recognizing you from yesterday and already knowing about your credentials and, you got a pass from Silvira, would ask how he can help you.
I'm looking for literature on Tiamat.
Okay. Is there something specific you're looking for?
The cult that worships her, I suppose, more like. And anything that might have to do with the phrase Finn Pack, which I don't think is going to be easy to find, but Yeah, the cult and maybe a man named Archon.
Okay. I will see if we have anything on that. I'm sure we have information on the cult of Tiamat. Those specific topics might be included within the literature, but I'm not familiar with those myself. And he would go, and he'd be gone for a while. It's behind like a vaulted door. And he would come out some minutes later, and he would hand you a scale-bound book, also untitled. Multiple hues of scales make the cover of this book. Red, black, green, white, and they seem to be from young dragons, but it's kind of like a rainbow of colors is what this tome is bound in.
Technicolor scale book. Got it.
Yep. But it is untitled. And the man just says, please return it when you're done.
Will do. Get cracking on this book.
All right. Anyone doing any non-research stuff?
I mean, I would want to talk to what's her? What was her name?
Silvira?
Elvira.
Okay. Yeah, when you go to speak with Silvira, you see Rhea on the way out, kind of heading from the direction of where Silvira's spire is. And she kind of just gives you a glare and just keeps walking past you.
Can I get a feeling if she was angry or she was?
It's the same glare she gives you. She doesn't seem to like you very much.
Oh, not like towards me. Yeah, no. I imagine like as she was coming out, like was she like headed somewhere or like was she signed by something or was she like angry? Like
You think that it was business as usual unhappiness towards you. You don't think that she was particularly angry at anything, and you're pretty confident that she was coming from Silvira's spire.
Right.
But no other, like, she's unhappy to see you in general.
Okay. Checks out. All right. Yeah, so I'll head up there.
Okay. Silvira seems to be in the middle of rummaging around her workshop for things, and the closet that was with her is kind of knocking things off the shelf and laughing at her. It's a chaotic mess in here. And she notices you suddenly and asks how she can help you. Are you here for that third favor?
Perhaps. I have some information that maybe could be important for both of us. You say you were interested in the shield containing the hidden lord.
Yeah, the shield that holds the demon or devil Gargoth.
So I have a certain interest on someone that made a deal with him. I happen to reside in Avernus at the moment. I was wondering if you knew anything about it.
If it's in Avernus, there's a good chance I know something about it. And when you're saying Gargoth, I think I already know who you're talking about.
Who would that
be? She kind of looks at you and kind of gives you a slight smile. She says, Gargoth and dealings. Normally, when creatures make deals with devils, you see, their souls are kind of brought back at the lowest tier. They come in as what they call lemures, writhing masses of flesh that fight on the front lines of the armies of devils. That's generally the case for most people that make deals with devils in the end. They kind of either get their souls are either forged into soul coins, or they're brought back as infantrymen to help the devils in their war squabbles that they have going on. If you're asking for about a creature that made a deal with the devil and maintained itself, I highly suspect you're talking about Smiler.
I'm more interested in the Firmwender version.
Oh, I don't know a lot about what it was before. I've read in manuscripts, books, texts that Smiler isn't currently active in Avernus, and is supposedly of some sort of Fey origin. And I imagine that Avernus is not a very great place for this person because there's not really a lot of foliage down there. I say down there like it's below us, but you know, we talked about the plains thing earlier. Plains could be different directions. And she starts to go off on a rant about the relative positioning of plains to the prime material plane, and she goes off on, and then she kind of stops herself. She's like, but yeah, probably not a great place. It explains why that creature probably lost its sanity. No trees. Those sylvan creatures in general love that sort of thing, I hear. Just lots of fire and barren wastelands there.
Could there be a way to bring somebody back from that?
She kind of sits there and thinks, I mean, I guess it depends. Getting to Avernus is pretty simple. But if someone is psychologically damaged to the point where they become corrupted, I mean, bringing them back would be as simple as curing madness in general. Possibly, and she sits there thinking, restoration, sanity. Perhaps literally restoration magic or something like that to return their sanity, but leaving Avernus is as simple as coming. If you're there, you could just come and go with magic or through portals. Your friend was actually asking about a similar topic, the one that was with you yesterday.
Oh yeah, my good friend Rhea.
Yeah, she was trying to find out how to get to Avernus. She didn't seem very magically capable. I told her I know someone that could probably help her out. I would be able to help out myself, but unfortunately we're prevented from casting magic that of the conjuring variety. Portals don't really work here in Candlekeep. But I told her I know a guy.
Now, of Cargill himself, if we were to find the shield, would there be a way to destroy it while destroying the soul inside?
The souls of celestial beings are tricky. Devils need to be killed on their home plane. It is likely if you destroyed the shield, you would free the creature trapped within rather than destroying it. I feel as though if it were as simple as destroying the creature within the shield, the creature that imprisoned it would have done so.
Right.
I think imprisonment was a last resort due to not being able to kill the creature on its home plane. But killing devils in the Nine Hells kills them for good.
So perhaps bring in the shield and then destroying it there.
If you destroyed the shield, I think you would just free the creature, which I think is what it probably wants. If Kargoth is as strong as the stories say, and capable of making deals with high-end Fey creatures, it would be a bad idea to free this creature from the shields. It would certainly be a very formidable foe.
Like red dragon strong, like
I don't know much about dragons, but pit fiends are on a level of celestial import. They're the type of creatures that fight things like the angels that you hear about in tales and stories. They're very, very powerful. Gargouth is at least of a rank of pit fiend, I would think.
right.
Very powerful creatures. If you see them, you should avoid them. Fortunately, there hasn't been a pit fiend that I've been aware of on the material plane for... I don't even know. Creatures like that generally don't come here unnoticed. And if they do come here, there's usually intervention. Breaks the rules. They have to be called, generally.
Seem to be interested in the shield next. What business do you have with it?
I personally think I was researching El Terrell because I thought there was corruption there. And I don't know if you've been to Baldur's Gate. I think you said you came from there.
Yes.
Baldur's Gate is a horrible place. And I'm convinced that the shield has been corrupting Baldur's Gate for hundreds of years, slowly leading to the corruption of its people. I'm trying to find a way to seal it away in an extra dimensional space where it cannot cause harm. Or perhaps find someone to slay the creature within. That's well beyond my capabilities, but at the very least putting it in a safe place far from where it could corrupt things would be my ideal plan.
You have any ways to track its location?
I don't. I've worked with other wizards that specialize in divination magic, but the struggle is with an artifact of such import is people that seeking it generally know how to hide it from divination as well. A simple sheet of lead can hide something from some of the more powerful divination magic, if you did not know. Lead-lined boxes make things very difficult to find. Non-detection spells, perhaps. There's several ways. I have certainly never been able to find it. But they have a group of fanatics that worship the devil within the shield that are constantly looking for it. They have an information network. It's basically a small religion, a cult, if you will.
I mean, they found it.
Oh, that's not good. What makes you say that?
Thought we told her.
Did you tell her that someone took the
Yeah,
shield?
because I remember she goes, "You didn't touch it, did you?" And we were like, "No, no, no."
Yeah, I know you talked about the shield, but I didn't know you talked about the shield getting stolen.
Oh, maybe we didn't.
Specifically.
We definitely told her we found it, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
assume she knows it got stolen because otherwise
No.
we would have had it.
I suppose. Well, she's
Maybe, well, we may not have mentioned the cult. I don't know.
yeah,
guess I would-
she's asking now, I suppose.
Yeah, I would explicitly say it. They stole it.
Oh, well, it happens again, I guess. And she kind of sighs as she says, they're probably just going to keep trying to find a way to break him out of the shield. Then
Like breaking the shield would do it.
it's probably not as simple as physically breaking the shield. It's an artifact. It's a high-level magic item. Something like that. It would probably take some sort of magic to release the creature from inside the shield. I can't even... I don't think I know of a capability to do so. Or whoever created the shield, I suppose, could unleash whatever's within, but based on the fact that the shield was made, I'm highly reluctant to believe that something would willingly do that.
Right.
But if the cult of the Shield of the Hidden Lord has the shield again, it's probably going to result in something bad further down the line.
So if I were to find it and bring it to you, then you would lock him away.
I would certainly try to find a wizard or a vault to lock it away, yes.
Yep.
But I wouldn't anticipate finding that shield easily at all.
Yeah.
If these again, this devil has a whole network of cultists helping him, and if they think that the shield is being tracked, they're probably on a very defensive state right now, in hiding. But if you find it, certainly let me know.
All right.
Is there anything? Oh, I just realized I should have asked you a favor for those. Sometimes I overshare. I'd love to talk about my work.
Ah.
Consider
Perhaps
that a
some other
freebie,
time.
I guess.
Genie escaping the cave stuff.
This genie saving his life when he's drowning as.
No
Well,
more.
they made him use a wish for that. That's
Yeah, the water one he made even use a lift. But the Cave of Wonders, it was free.
true. All right. So you've
Alright.
got more information. What would you like to do? You guys got information, knowledge, reading books for days.
Reading.
I mean, I would talk to Aunt Camilla about seeing if she thinks her magic could cure something like madness.
Okay. So you're gonna go look for Antamila?
Yeah.
Antamila, where are you right now?
I guess, since I didn't say, I'm probably still in the library reading the book.
Yeah, at some point, you see your companions come by and walk by occasionally. Like, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. At some point, Rhea actually finds you and sits down next to you and begins to talk to you. And she says, she looks excited, and she kind of puts her gauntleted hands on the table, makes a lot of noise, and you see a bunch of the monks kind of look up from the books awkwardly in her direction, and she kind of timidly whispers to you, I think I found a way.
A way to get drunk? It's very easy.
No, a way to get a way for us to get to Avernus.
Oh. How?
So, that wizard lady from yesterday, she says she knows a guy. And if we use one of our favors, she thinks that she can convince the guy to cast some magic spell to transport us there.
This doesn't sound 100% sure.
Wait, what?
Doesn't sound 100% like she thinks that she can.
She's calling it a favor to the guy to kind of match the favor we used.
Did
Or
she
that-
say who the guy was?
Yeah, she said it was an old mage outside of Candlekeep that went by the name of Traxigor.
Name sounds slightly familiar. Okay.
She says that we would have to fly there. And she kind of shrugs and looks at you. As his tower isn't here, it's in the mountains to the southeast. But, they've had those birds flying around in the air. I bet we could use those.
The griffins?
Yeah, those.
That's gonna cost both of our favors.
We only have one favor.
I thought we got 4 and we've used 2.
Okay. Well, then, yes. Probably. She would say, maybe, but that'd be worth it, right? You get to find out about your stuff, and I get to help my friends. And my people.
Well, I could totally claim one of those favors, but the other one isn't mine to claim, really. So we'd have to convince Derek, I think.
I think if we went to her right now, just the 2 of us could go.
And leave the rest of them behind?
I mean, that Eldrin guy seems like he wouldn't want to help anybody. And at this time, Eldrin, you're walking up as you find Antamila.
If I hear her voice, can I try to sneak behind her?
Yeah, you would. She's speaking in a whisper. You would
Yeah,
see her before you heard her.
Okay. I'm not trying to like, my shoes don't make any noise.
You've got the sneaky slippers, yes.
I would try to sneak behind her.
Hey, sneaky.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Under the Batman Gibbs thing.
Okay, yeah. She seems very focused on Tamila, and you're like walking in plain sight at certain points because it's not like completely hidden onto her. Like some people are looking at you suspiciously.
That's fine.
But you're confident that Rhea doesn't notice you, and you're able to get close enough to kind of eavesdrop in on the conversation at this point. And you actually hear your name, ironically, when you get to the point.
Right.
And she says, the Edmund, maybe we convince him to go. I don't know about that other guy. He's weird.
I think he might have some sort of dealings. I need to figure out what his deal is. It's very secretive.
But me and you and maybe Edmund, we could just go now.
Can I try to signal to Antamila to like not say anything?
What's your passive perception, Antamila?
That's gonna be
like 25. Right?
26.
Yeah, so you actually notice Eldrin sneaking around. You don't know why he's being sneaky, but you're having a conversation, your eyes are kind of like following him for a little bit, and then you kind of look at Rhea, and she doesn't seem to notice you're looking in different places, and he kind of settles in a spot close by behind her, and he kind of throws you... What signal do you throw on Tamila?
It's like, like the finger to the mouth.
Okay.
And I want to attempt to try to take her sword, her notice.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check. I'm trying to think of whether I would make a disadvantage for a longsword, because that's kind of big.
Mm.
I'm going to say yes. Trying to take a longsword from somebody that's sitting down, that's like, it's not like as simple as like a coin purse.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage. Okay, yeah, so she's talking and she's being like, you could tell that she's trying to persuade Antamila to do something, and your minimum is 17, and you're able to kind of lift the sword from... she does not notice you.
Fantastic.
That's ridiculous. And other people are looking at you because they're not distracted, but they don't seem to care. And Rhea continues to passionately go on about we can make a real difference.
I'll just go past her and sit. If I don't know if they're in that table or something, I'll sit next to Antamila. Put the sword on the table. Say,
She kind of stops like her speech, and she kind of clams up when you sit down.
Yeah.
Then she looks at you, but then she looks at the sword, and then she looks. She has like this look of confusion on her face. Then she says, "See, I told you, he can't be trusted."
He's like a ghost. He's been there the whole time. He already knows.
You can't be trusted. You didn't tell me?
You were a little distracted trying to tell me all of this. And it was kind of...
It's important.
Take the sword.
It's important.
This is important. Yes.
I'll slide the sword back to her and say,
she just gives you the same glare that she always does.
And I'll say, you might need some good hands where you're going.
What do you mean, where I'm going?
Oh, you think that I can sneak up behind you but not hear what you're saying?
I was whispering.
Where did you just come from, Eldrin?
Huh. Good you ask. Just talking to Silvera. So this one get run out of there, and even if I didn't hear the conversation, I could tell what's going on.
Oh, you heard every word she said, by the way.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And also Samira told you that she was looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even need to hear the conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
She'd be like, and she would say, "Look, I know you don't care about anything except for yourself. We have something important to do."
I might have my own reasons to be there.
Wait, you have a reason to go to hell? Is it to see all the people you sent there?
she would kind of look at Eldrin again.
Kill them again.
It's the only way to really get rid of them. You know?
Well, you would know that devil worshippers probably end up as lemurs.
Right? But you can only kill them. Okay. And then I would say, would you happen to know if your magic could cure madness? I would just say it.
On Tamila, without making a check, you would know that madness is a pretty vague, broad term. But you know that the highest levels of restoration magic can cure madness of the highest level. If someone was literally insane, and it's not like a it's not like literally effectively like a damaged, well, even some extensive damaged body parts can be repaired by some levels of restoration magic. But I'm saying like madness afflicted to them can definitely be cured by higher level restoration magic. Absolutely, yes. It depends on what degree. Like, even the highest degree, though, could be cured by the highest degree of magic.
Easy answer, yes. Hard answer, it depends how crazy the person is and how strong the restoration is. My restoration isn't there yet.
Yeah, you could cure some levels
yet.
of... Yeah.
Not yet.
Your lesser restoration can cure, like, temporary madness. Like, if someone was suddenly, like, freaking out because they were in, like a claustrophobic situation, like, let's just say you were in prison with someone and they're, like, freaking out, you could probably actually help them.
Or like Crown of Madness, maybe? I don't know if that's a thing you can cure.
I don't know.
It's like a warlock spell, I think.
I'd have to read the spell, but yeah, their restoration can cure different levels of madness. So, yes.
Okay, then, well, yes.
So, well, perhaps I'll have something to ask when we're there.
Okay. Rhea says, so what about the plan? I don't care if you come as long as you don't interfere with helping El Terrell.
I've done more to help Arturo than you have.
I doubt that very much. What have you done to help El Terrell?
Okay, children, okay.
Yeah, she looks at you like actually genuinely curious.
Let's focus on the plan. So apparently you need to go to Avernus as well, is what I'm gathering here.
Looks that way.
Okay. Might not be so difficult after all. All right.
Just gotta make sure we have a way back.
Yeah, that's very important. Not looking for a one-way trip down. If that was that easily, I'll just have you shoot me now. Okay. Let's go and find Edmund, and then we can try and see what Derek needs done. Because I don't know about you, Eldrin, but I barely know about you, but I know you like murdering people, so that's a good line. But
I would say like is, a strong word. I just gotta do what I gotta do. Okay.
You're very good at what you have to do.
I'm just good at doing it. Okay.
I was just doing my job.
Here we go,
Fair.
killing again.
But I don't know what.
I just love killing.
Derek's. He's a closed book, that one.
He has some special interests, it seems, in the companion and else.
Yes, but
Perhaps he has his different reasons.
We should ask him why.
Tell me
First-
why.
If we're gonna go on a trip to a different plane, then yes. We should make sure
First-
that whoever we're going with
Let's
has
go
good
track
reason.
down Edmund first, though, because there's a little matter of losing another ward. I don't think he wants to probably risk that. So
Yeah.
All right, Edmund, where are you?
Speaking of wards, if everybody else went off to do other things, he'd probably be training.
Oh, good job. You look very out of place in the middle of Candlekeep Courtyard.
All the mages.
Yeah, there's a bunch, like, pretty much everyone is, like, the bookish type, and you're sitting here in full plate armor with a sword, clashing swords, with your apprentice training on form and stuff like that. She is ecstatic. This is probably the first actual training she's had with you at all, ever.
We did some in Baldur's Gate.
training on the way to Candle Cove too. Candlekeep.
We did some in the very early time of Baldur's Gate too. But that quickly stopped because everything escalated and went to shit.
Yep, that's true.
Training, and then cultists.
Yeah.
Cultists.
But
Alright,
yeah, this
so...
is probably the first right proper one.
Yeah, so Trisha would obviously be engaged with you with that. And everyone else would be able to find you pretty easily because you're a bit of a spectacle. So I don't know what Derek's doing right now. Derek, what are you doing out of curiosity?
What is Derek doing? What is life? What does it mean?
Tell us the story of Derek.
What are any of us doing, really, Donald?
Profound AF fire emoji.
It is a great big universe, and we are really puny.
At this point, he's probably just finding out, about those griffins. I would imagine that's what he was doing during all of this.
Okay. Yeah, at some point, you would see through the main causeway, because, when you're done there, I imagine you're not sticking around, unless you are, just sticking around awkwardly next to the guy after asking him questions about griffins. So I heard you like griffins, and then you just sit there staring at him.
Yeah.
Awkward. So, yeah, on the way out, you would actually notice the some of your other party members leaving. Rhea, Eldrin, and Antamila seem to be walking outside. And you could catch up to them if you'd like, or you could sneak up behind them and try to steal their longsword.
I'll just walk up, do the salutations.
Okay. So Derek approaches the rest of the group before you make it to Edmund. What do you guys say to him as you're leaving together? Anything? Or just, hey, we're going to see Edmund? Like, what do you guys do?
Oh, pause. Should we tell him?
Ooh, that's a good question. Derek's like, no need.
Yeah, I don't see a harm.
All right. We're going to hell. I'm never going to get tired of saying that. Maybe until we're there, possibly.
Sorry, excuse me. Don't think I heard that quite right. What are you? Where? What? What are you doing?
To hell! We're going to hell. We're going to try to anyway. And then I explain the plan. Silvira, who might have a connection. We might have to take a griffin to go see Traxagor.
If you don't recall that name, Derek, you would have heard that name before, by the way.
I do recall, and so pretty much I tell him, I was like, well, not particularly keen on going to hell. I don't know what business exactly that has with me. So I have some suspicions, but I don't know if hell's the right place. But Traxagor.
What's so suspicious about hell?
I mean, one of the outer planes, fiends. Sounds like endless torment.
It's like Baldur's Gate Plus. It'll probably be like 2 miles long. It'll be fine.
Don't tell Edmund.
Yeah, and Baldur's Gate was a real walk in the park. Loved that place. And clearly he's trying to be sarcastic there.
Right.
but I am definitely interested in speaking with Traxagor. I have, during our journeys, somebody told me he may have some information regarding kind of just trying to figure out more about the companion, like what it is.
Why are you so interested in the companion?
Do you remember when we were going through El Terrell? I think I told you briefly, but I didn't, when I was looking at the companion, it didn't feel right. I was getting really nauseated, and it was just kind of a weird experience. And I don't think I've really ever had a reaction to anything quite like that. And I'm wondering if my, I guess we'll call them abilities, are somehow tied to it.
To the companion?
Maybe. It's just, it's that's never happened to me before. I just at least wanted to understand more, and then I guess trying to understand the connection to Zariel it has, if any. I'm just kind of spitballing because, the companion, she was the companion of light. I have to assume they're tied together, but I'm not positive. I'm hoping Traxagor can provide some more insight, and maybe he's a little more forthcoming with information than this this mage here.
Yeah, the paper thing is a bit. All that work, going through all that mile and mile of city. Okay, all right. So you're in for at least the Traxagor part.
Yeah.
But what if the information on the companion leads you down to Avernus? Would you be in to go with us?
If Avernus is my destination to understand and get rid of these powers, then so be it. Avernus it is.
Cool. Though I don't know why you want to get rid of your powers. You can shoot fireballs out of your hand. I can't do that. All right, let's go find Edmund.
Okay. So you hear Rhea kind of speak up as you're all walking, and she says, "Don't you think it's strange that all of us seem to have a connection to this place somehow?"
Well, we all came down here.
It's strange, I think, that all of us have met each other, and all of us have a connection to this place, it seems. She's just musing out loud, like it's like a hypothetical. She's just kind of throwing out there as you're all walking, and you see Edmund training with Trisha in the courtyard of Candlekeep outside the hearth. Edmund, you see your friends approaching, as well as Trisha's blade approaching your face. You were distracted. She's gonna make an attack. She's gonna make an attack roll against you.
Yes. No friend.
Wooden sword to the noggin.
But you see the forecasted.
If only she had advantage.
Yeah, she did not. But you could tell she wasn't trying to take advantage of the situation. She didn't see them. She was kind of focused on you, so she wasn't trying to like low blow you or anything like that. But yeah, you see your friends all arriving in a posse of sorts, and you deflect Trisha's attack, and she kind of suddenly notices them. Oh, sorry.
I will sheath my weapon.
Trisha does the same, and you have all met up. What do you want to say, party?
So we have a proposition that might sound a little crazy.
Okay.
Trisha looks excited visibly, like she's adventure.
And
I will stop him to Bill and
wildly
say, perhaps we should speak to him in private.
that's probably a good idea, yeah. Ian, maybe? Or Silvira's room? I'm pretty sure she could just use more company.
So just somewhere away.
Alright. Let's go to the inn.
Okay, you're at the inn.
Okay.
And it's more curious than ever now.
Trisha's more excited than ever. Ooh, secrets.
I keep looking over at Trisha.
Trisha's looking at you with like the widest eyes.
I was like, can you turn that off? Is that
She does not have an off button.
We'll see about that. How do you feel about going to hell?
I would like to not end up there someday.
Trisha just looks at you confused.
What if instead of not trying to end up there one day, we did the exact opposite?
What?
Then I explained the plan that Rhea had. So Silvira knows a guy. We're gotta go see a Traxagore. Gonna take two of our
Saving
favors.
people.
Gonna see. She wants to save people from Elturel. I want to find out about my parents. Eldrin's trying to find information about some person or something, and Derek is trying to find out the connection between the companion and his powers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the idea place, but if we think that Elturel is still functioning there, if those people are still alive.
They definitely are. Rhea kind of leans in and like slams her hand on the table. They have to be.
I mean, it's a great adventure. It's a great many lives that could be saved.
Trisha's like torn. She's excited and a little nervous.
And
I mean, yeah, if we suspect that they are there and alive, I definitely don't desire to be in any of the Nine Hells. If we think we can actually get those people back, I mean, we have to go, right?
That's the idea, I guess.
Like, I literally don't know that I have a choice, or that I would want to make any.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Like, you probably don't have a choice in it anyway. You're a protector after all.
And I will reiterate: as long as we have a way back, like we can't just go there and expect to save them.
Very preferable.
We can't save anybody if we get stuck with them.
That's very true. If we can't get ourselves back, I doubt we can. It's a very valid point, Eldrin. How exactly would we be getting there?
Well, we
the tracks.
We take the Griffins. We use a favor to get on the Griffins to go see Traxagore, since you can't get to them any other way, apparently. And then we hope Traxagore has a way to send us there and to bring us back.
Okay. Seems really simple, which worries me.
Yeah.
Well,
but
it's
sometimes
it's a big if.
Yeah, but sometimes the most simple plans are the best.
And I don't know if he would just do it willingly. Seems like very strong magic.
I'm sure he'll want a favor in return.
Rhea would speak up, and she says that Silvira said that Traxagore owes her a favor.
Oh.
And she owes us a favor. Well, 2 favors, actually, I think.
So therefore, he owes us a favor.
A favor of a favor.
The law of favor transference. Yes.
No. We should, at the very least, we should talk to.
Yes. I think that's someone that Derek wanted to speak with at some point anyways. Hurt, right?
Oh, this is so good. I was worried about going there by myself, says Rhea.
Oh, yeah, you would have absolutely died.
The
I was about to do it. I almost took the offer right away, but
the library here didn't seem to have too much information.
If Avernus is where we're going, I suggest we stock up on research.
Yeah, I mean we found a lot from the library, but nothing on the specific. So I don't know much else here too.
I don't know if material components for spells. I don't know if you guys have any specifics that you might want to stock up on.
Oh, I need to go get a $200 diamond. I'll be right back.
Some diamonds or some, yeah.
Speaking
That's a great idea. We should
speaking,
all create a shopping list and take care of that
Yeah,
once
not
we
right
are
now.
fully prepared
right.
and know what we're looking for.
Speaking of spells, I now have aura of protection.
Ooh, yeah.
So as long as people are within a 10-foot radius, they have.
Kenny, you
plus
keep
3.
cutting out.
Why?
I don't know.
So good.
I hear like tap up. What?
I was saying I now have aura of protection, which means that anybody within 10 feet of me currently gets a +3 bonus to their saving.
Neat. You all feel
Alright.
stronger next to Edmund.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
See, those people down there could use this.
I agree, says Rhea. Well, should we get supplies?
Indeed.
Okay.
Can we just say that we got
In a
supplies
way,
and then go?
and then deal with it.
It depends. I'm willing to give a little bit of a leash on this, but if you guys start to try to get ridiculous, like we bought 20 grappling hooks, we actually did buy those, then we're gonna have a problem. So,
No, I don't.
yeah.
No,
I
I
think
think
we
it's
just
just
components.
Yeah, just
like
components for spells and.
So
I
that's a
think that's-
component pouch. So that's
Well,
easy. We can say you bought those.
Yeah, I think everyone's got the ability to. Without, I think we're talking about money components, diamonds for like spare the dying or whatever the hell.
Yeah, so some of that stuff might not be available. So you need to tell me what you're trying to get. Because diamonds are probably not readily available, for example.
Right.
So we do need to, unfortunately, do this now. If you have things that you want, please tell me what you want to buy.
Well, if there's no diamonds available, it doesn't matter. It's the only one I care about.
I don't have components, but
Yeah, I don't think any of mine.
Rhea goes to a general store.
other than holy water for you.
Yeah, but if it's something that doesn't take money, it doesn't. Like you're just pretty much assumed to have it.
So to help you guys out with what's available, you guys can buy anything from the general items table, as well as any, well, I say any, but most scrolls and potions, as well as most magely magic items. So wands, staffs, rods, cloaks. Other than that you can't. There's not like a. There's not a component store. They'll have a component pouch for your basic component pouch because I think that's in the basic adventuring supplies. But those are the tables you have to buy stuff from to save you any looking.
Do you just want to buy a cloak of protection if they have it, Antamila? Since we haven't run the stock out here.
If they have it, that would be great. But if not, it'll be alright as well.
They will have it.
Cloak of protection. Oh, good.
Yeah, anything that's rare or lower, they will have from those fields that I gave you.
Scroll. The only thing I'll be interested in is scroll for
Scroll of what?
like restoration stuff, but I'm trying to.
Yeah. We have that in the magic item table I posted.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Cloak of protection.
Oh,
500.
what level will you say?
Which spell?
High restoration level.
Greater Restoration is a very high level spell, if I recall.
Meter.
It's not that high. It's like 5th.
That's
Oh,
like a
that's
level 8 or 10 spell, right?
5,000. 5,000 gold. Never mind. But Antamila should be able to learn it.
Eventually.
All right.
Diamond dust. Would they have 100 GP worth of diamond dust?
No.
How about probably the most important thing I need to worry
What kind of
about?
wizards are these people?
Wizards that use their staffs and wands and rods and
No component.
yeah.
Yeah, but they can't use that stuff for the money components. But I
They
guess
find their own components.
Yeah.
Because well, I guess you could say that they hoard all that stuff for their own.
Yeah. That's fine. It's so
Would they
good.
have powdered silver?
No.
Damn it.
Can you exchange
Ceremony!
silver and-
Get married!
No, fuck that. Plus water.
Oh, we should have bought like a endless canter. Or...
Well, there's a way around that.
That won't be here. The decanter.
Yeah. No.
Just the basic supplies and the things I told you, boys. Nothing else. You say anything like crushed copper even, I'm going to say no. We're going to make this very simple.
I'd be like
We will do shopping until the break, and then after the break, shopping will be closed. All shops will mysteriously be out of items.
Okay, but double checking. Cloak of protection 500.
You see?
Yes. Tier 3.
Tier 3, and it's only uncommon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wish there was a way to get a discount with these people. But it's okay. It's fine.
Don't forget it requires attunement.
I don't think I have to worry too much about that at the moment.
Good.
Alright, well, there's my GP.
Just
All right. What about the ointment? So I looked back at Baldur's Gate. I didn't look here.
Sure. Roll a... What was 1d4?
1d. Yeah.
They'll definitely have it. Just roll the die. Nope.
Done. Not shopping anymore.
Not worth buying.
I know. Well, how much is he? He's trying to sell full price
Yeah.
for 2. Yeah.
He's a scum.
Everybody have water skins and rations.
That is a great question.
Yeah, please
So
make sure you have the basics,
Yeah,
guys.
each of us had 10 to get us here. And how long did we say? It took us 5 days?
I don't mark it off for these short type of situations. I assume that you buy enough or get enough rations for your travels before your journey, so you don't have to mark any off your character sheet. It will be relevant in the next place you go, probably, but
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Make sure we have. So I'm like, well, I didn't bring any.
So that's a good point, Eldrin. How long, if we end up having to go to another plane, how long do we expect to be there?
It depends on what the answer is for bringing people back.
I was looking for a little more of a concrete number.
I mean, I would say bring at least 10 rations, right? And then we can figure out If they're alive down there, then they're eating something.
The bodies of their enemies.
So we shall have a lot of food.
Okay. Dang, that's another. How much is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, Cool. Got my 10 days worth of rations.
Okay.
Kenny, I think the only thing you might need is holy water.
Which, if I had silver, wouldn't be a problem.
Let's see then.
I think Blast uses sprinkle holy water.
Is holy water in the basic adventuring gear?
I think it is.
I think it's in my pack kit thing.
I mean, one or two is alright, but I feel like
I have a holy symbol, not holy water.
Adventuring gear. It is. 25 gold. Or a flask.
I think Blast only uses like sprinkling of holy water. So if you have a flask, then that should...
I do not currently have a flask of holy water. I don't. Checking.
maybe double check one too.
So I guess I'll have to buy that. So 25.
What is the party's count for healing kit?
2,
I
right?
have one.
Healing kit. I have one. I think I bought one for Trisha, right, Donald?
Check her sheet.
I definitely didn't add it. Did. I didn't know.
She
No, I-
probably does not have one then. You gotta write this stuff down, guys.
Well, I don't even think I can edit her sheet like that.
Well, write it down somewhere.
So, but what I'm hearing, Eldrin and Edmund at least have one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I definitely.
cool. So, yeah, all right.
Rare potion. Donald, on the cheat thing, tier 1 says potion of healing. Like, potion of healings are all listed in tier 1. Does that mean all potions are?
All potions are tier 1. All consumables are tier 1.
Okay. Just looking at potions. I don't know that I want to spend money on.
Potions
rare
are
one.
so expensive. They're
Yeah.
awful buying them, but they're the best when you find them.
Yeah. I was looking at the potion of invulnerability. It only lasts for basically one combat,
Yeah.
but it makes you lose everything. Literally everything. Like, I would probably save that to, like, end game.
It's pretty good.
And hope it just doesn't get taken off me somehow. But, yeah. I guess I can look at uncommon.
All right.
Are we going to need an abacus?
Oh?
Are you sure? We don't need to do some math?
Oh, I thought you were saying I thought you said I'm an abacus. Like, you just declared that you were going to need that. And I was like, wait, what?
No.
Shops are starting to close their shutters.
Yeah.
Potion of Hill Giant Strength is cool and only uncommon, which is only 100. But I'm already at 19 for my belt. Or gauntlets. So that only increased me by 2. But not worth it.
What's the potion of Hill Giant Strength do?
Raises your strength to 21.
For how long?
An hour.
Ah.
So it's yeah. Mine's at 19 with the item, so it'd go up to 21. which is I think only a +1 additional.
Yep.
So probably not worth it for me. Potion of Growth can cast the Enlarge Reduce for 1d4 hours. Should we? I know we each have like a healing potion or whatever, but should we double down on those? If we really are doing this, like if we end up going to this place and we end up going to another plane of existence, I mean, maybe it's smart to have at least 2 of each of those on ourselves. I don't know. I'll let the.
I already have one. I'm good with one.
Okay.
We have healing magic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything I need then.
I'm good.
I bought the holy water. Other than that, I'm good.
Montemila, Derek.
Trying to double check now.
Yep.
I think I'll be okay.
Pretty solid. Still had the adventures back from the beginning of the game and whatnot, but looking for something specific, and I can't remember what it's called, so I don't remember able to find it.
If you tell me what it does, I can tell you what it is, probably.
It helps make food not taste like shit.
Oh, spices.
Yeah, like, a spice pack, spice pouch, or something like that. But like, I'm not seeing it.
We don't have good berry, right?
You might. Do you?
Do not.
You don't?
Like I didn't pick it. I think I have it as an option, but I can't. Actually, you tell me. When I multi-class, if I take a level on a different class, I can't.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
levels of the spell, levels of the class that you have your spells from.
Right. So yeah. So the spells that I have now are the spells that I'm gonna have forever.
Cool.
Sure, not bad.
Prestidigitation does it. At
Does what?
Maurice. Makes your food taste
Right.
good.
Oh, well,
Do you have that spell?
no, I don't.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's a cantrip, right?
Neat.
I think
Suddenly, my rations will taste like that of Master Chef Gordon Ramsay.
I think Alex is the only one that can get it.
Yeah, we for sure have it. We're good there.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
That's fine.
There you go.
Perfect.
With any spices, we have Alex.
Marvelous.
Beautiful.
Alright. So are you set, Maurice?
Is there any way? No, there's not going to be one of those. Do they have an ever-filling tankard of
No, I already told you what they have. Stop.
Thought I'd ask.
Yeah, you could certainly ask. But no, I've given you the tables.
my. How to turn tables.
Oof.
So we're good.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting on confirmation from... That's a yes from Derek. I'm waiting on a yes from Altamila.
How much would an alchemy jug be?
They don't have an alchemy jug, whatever that is.
They don't have what's an uncommon item.
No, I already told you. Staffs, rods, wands, robes, cloaks.
I feel like they can make very good use of that. I could make very good use of it.
But they don't have it.
Yeah.
Rat incarnation wouldn't have even been useful until about now. Fine. I am good.
Alright, so with that, shopping has been completed forever. There are
did it.
no other shops in the game forever. Even if there were shops, they've been deleted from existence.
It only took us like 12 minutes. That wasn't that bad.
And
They've all
with
been
that,
ported to Avernus where we're going?
and with that, we will go ahead and start our break.
Here.
Alright, welcome back everybody to Descent into Avernus. The final shopping of all time has just concluded. And now the party is trying to decide what they would like to do. Party, what would you like to do?
Oh, right. So while we're having our shopping spree and all that fun stuff, I go over all the cool new stuff I learned about ASMRs, and I keep poking fun at Edmund, and he's a big old protector, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Edmund will go ahead and stop you when you get to the part about the name Gabrielle. And
Wait, that's not what he learned.
No,
Wait.
just ASMR stuff.
I thought he did learn that.
No, that would
Derek
be
has that stuff.
Derek.
Oh, Derek has that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just opening the conversation.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Mars and their lineage and
Okay.
angels.
Well, okay.
Who's
So
your
there is something
mom?
relevant. Hold on.
Edmund, I've met your dad. Who's your mom?
She's kind of like a librarian. She buys and sells rare books. But Donald, when he gets to talking about the Scourge Asimar,
Yeah.
there was something in there about raving madness, apparently, or something similar to that.
Yeah, something about they're not able to control their stuff and.
Yeah, so it manifests in different ways. Pretty much they're unable to control their, I guess you could say, divine spark. And it could literally be something where they're shooting eye and mouth lasers out of their face. Some of them, upon birth, literally just self-destruct. Some of them deteriorate more slowly, though, in a more controlled way. But the deterioration can commonly lead to madness. And it's usually a madness of, I guess, the focus of what celestial beings would have. It kind of hits a note with you.
Yeah, that's basically Edmund would be. I don't know if he would draw that parallel. Kenny certainly is drawing his father and raving lunatics, but Edmund doesn't necessarily want to believe his dad's actually crazy. But everyone else seems to think he is, so it definitely raises that question. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, so Anthony Miller would be the one that you're saying that it's heritage based. So someone in my family. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I've talked to you guys about it before, but I mean, well, you're even from Anthony Miller's from.
I've met your father.
I was gonna say you've met my dad. I mean, you've seen him
Maybe
around.
that's why he's so weird. Maybe he's one of those Scourge Asimar things.
I mean, did the book say anything? I mean, can a Scourge Asimar have a protector? I guess it was Asimar is their child.
Yeah. It's that you would know that, Antamila, from reading the book. And sometimes it actually skips generations entirely. Sometimes someone's father won't show any signs of being an Asimar at all. I forgot that Antamila was from Waterdeep. It actually would have kind of clicked with you, Antamila, specifically related to father. Kind of checks out. You've seen Edmund with angel wings. You've seen Edmund's dad, Stark, raving, seemingly mad, talking about fiends, which is what you would expect with someone with uncontrolled divine spark within them, talking about killing fiends and fiends doing things in places. And then the interesting thing, the only thing that I guess is interesting is he specifically called out Baldur's Gate, and you did find some fiends in Baldur's Gate. So you might be a little doubtful, Edmund, but everything else seems to kind of line up.
Yeah, I mean, but if he is also an Asimar, why wouldn't he have ever said anything? Unless he genuinely is.
Did it
Crazy.
mention anything about why someone would want to hide being an Asimar in that book?
Well, they might not know. Edmund literally didn't know until...
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know, but I mean...
It's like a slow degeneration as well, depending on type of Scourge Asimar. But they literally just might not even know what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. So it's possible maybe he's forgotten.
Or
Well,
you
now
never
that
knew.
you're an SMR, you
Or you
can,
never
when we
knew.
get back to Waterdeep, you can help him out, and maybe he'll be less crazy.
Maybe.
Antamila, based on what you know about restoration magic and insanity as well, you don't think it would help someone that was, like, born that way, if that makes sense. It's not like you're curing something that's wrong with them, that's how they are.
If their mind is naturally working that way in an insane
Yeah.
sort of way, restoration's not going to restore anything because there's nothing to restore. Got it.
Yeah, it would be like something like wish level to fix something like that. I make an appeal to the gods.
An appeal to the gods. Interesting. Only
AKA
on
9th
appeal
level
to
magic
the-
spell.
Yeah.
An appeal to the gods.
Okay. Thank you for that information. As both enlightening and terrifying as it is. And we're sure that I'm this protector kind, right? I'm not gonna like go Looney Tunes.
No more Looney Tunes than the rest of us. So you got the wings, and you do the thing with the glowing radiant energy. Yeah, that's totally protector. Not to mention you keep trying to save everyone. It's like you can't even help it.
Yeah, that's true.
Only thing, do you have somebody maybe like a voice or something that is talking to you? Because there's supposed to be this sort of, I don't know, what do they call it? Some sort of divine thing that's supposed to help ASMR out, like a I guess like a fairy godmother sort of thing, but maybe celestial in nature.
Yeah, she's only ever talked to me in my dreams. She's actually one of the reasons I went to Baldur's Gate. Between her and my father both talking about the place, I decided it was probably a good idea to go there and check it out for myself.
My advice is you might want to talk to your fairy god celestial. Like, pray.
Real quick, did we? Because we didn't do it on stream. Did the angelic thing happen in Baldur's Gate, or
Which angelic thing?
there was like a vision that I was going to have, or didn't do it on stream? We were going to do it off, and then I think we decided not to do it at all.
Yeah, it didn't happen at all.
Okay, cool. So then Edmund would reply that he actually hasn't heard from Gabrielle since he left Water.
You say the name Gabrielle out loud.
The name Gabrielle?
Yes.
Yeah, so you get an interesting feeling when you say it out loud. You've heard the name before, and you've gotten slight visions of things, and you've heard someone talking to you. But actually saying the name out loud just feels different than thinking it. You don't know what that means, but it's like you feel as though something is kind of like opened. I'll be giving you a vision thing next session, by the way. Well, before next session. It was like, it feels like acknowledgement or something. Like everyone would see Edmund's eyes kind of open up a little bit when he says it.
It's not the same feeling that I felt near the Zariel statue, right?
No, Zariel one was kind
Very
of
opposite.
Yeah, very opposite.
Wait, didn't we learn that a Gabriel thing was related to?
Derek, cough. Yes, cough.
Yes, somebody knows that.
I was going to say somebody did.
Oh, who did?
Derek did.
Oh, was that Derek?
Derek is here right now. He's with us.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Get wrecked, nerds.
Let's see.
Your
Maybe we
meta
should find
pigeons don't work on Derek.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't remember who knew.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I didn't either. I thought it was Anthamilla, and then
I did too.
Eric. I went back and looked, and I was like, oh yeah, in my notes.
So you know the name of your fairy god celestial?
Yeah, yeah. She's talked to me a few times. It's not like it's not like in stories with fairy godmothers where like somebody comes to you and physically manifests and talks. It's more like they speak, but more like imagery and words. Not I've never actually seen her. I didn't actually. To be honest with you, I thought I was maybe going crazy like Dad, and so us finding
Had-
fiends in Baldur's Gate sucked, but it also kind of confirmed that, well, at the time, that he wasn't crazy, and that I'm not crazy. Now, as it turns out, maybe he is crazy still. So, there's that. But at least maybe he's not crazy for that reason.
Well, I slap a comforting hand on Edmund's shoulder. Well, it's a good thing you're not crazy, except for the fact that we're willingly going to hell, which most people would consider crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Fair assessment.
But we're doing it for good reason.
Your protectorate, I guess, this Gabrielle, has she mentioned anything else about herself to you?
No. Not beyond the obvious of just claiming to be a guide for me to help me do right in the world.
So take this information with a grain of salt, only because I had just discovered it myself. When I was looking up information regarding the companion, I found that name, actually, Gabriel.
Really? The library said they didn't have anything on it. Well, I guess nothing dedicated to it.
Yeah, it only seemed to be a quick mention. It was a brief account of that attack with the Hellriders when they went down into Avernus, led by Zariel. Apparently, Gabriel was a commander during that raid.
A commander during. Okay. Interesting.
I wonder if it's the same Gabriel.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's all the info I had on it.
I would assume angelics are not keen on, giving out names. They're not smiths, but maybe.
Out of character, they definitely don't repeat on names.
Yeah.
Names are important to stuff like that. There's no way they would share names. But you don't know that in character, so
Right.
neat.
It's interesting, given my. I don't recall if I ever told you this, but in the sewers under the Van Danforth estate, when we came across the statues of Zario, I felt really weird. Kind of like it was like a sick feeling, right, Donald? I'd have to go back and to look.
Yes.
It was like a sickening feeling when I was near that statue. It just didn't sit right with me at all. That was before we even knew what Zario was, before we knew the name. So
If I described my symptoms of a companion, would they sound very similar to what Edmund is talking about right now?
Yes.
So I'll mention something like, "Wow, that's extraordinary. I've been searching all day for an account, somebody feeling something similar to what I did, and apparently I've had someone right here right all along."
wait, with the Zario statue?
Not with the Zariel, but the feeling, the sensation that you're describing is the same thing that I think is the same thing I was feeling when I had seen the companion in Elturel.
Solar Incendiator.
Yes.
Interesting. A lot of interesting things. I don't know what any of it means.
Mysteries afoot. Mysteries.
Hey, Derek, have you sprouted wings anytime in the last couple of...
He looks behind him. No, I don't think so.
Huh.
Maybe you can. I didn't know I could until I did.
We could test it out. Throw him off something high.
I was just about to say jump off a building.
This is how the party wipes. I like it.
I wasn't
Testing
very
flight.
high. In fact, I was underwater. So, height not necessary.
So we need to drown him? That seems kind of...
Edmund has PTSD flashbacks of Hope drowning.
Weep, weep.
Oh, poor Hope. Way back on Road to Baldur's Gate.
I reactively snuggle Slobber Chops.
Oh,
With Slobber Chops is indifferent in every conceivable way.
That's fine. It's
just
just
like
standard.
struggling and like this is nice. Just with like disdain in the voice. Okay. A commander for that didn't. I'm trying to remember how much we know about Zarya. Now there's been so much information in 3 sessions.
Ray is like, I can repeat the story if you'd like.
No, I know that story. Yeah, thank you though. I greatly appreciate it. I mean, what happened to her after the fact?
Ooh.
Zariel.
They assume she was killed. That's what Rhea would say.
Did it say in the book what happened before she was assumed killed?
Derek would know, not necessarily share.
I'm asking Derek.
Well, Derek would know, not necessarily share. That the story suggests that Zariel was captured.
I would relay that information.
So, what if she's not dead at all? I mean,
if there's cultists still worshiping her, didn't Creed claim that Zariel? No, Amrit claimed Zariel spoke to them, and that would have been long after the companion's appearance and the raid.
I mean, likewise, just the box, excuse me, the puzzle cube itself. If we're to believe that is authentic, then it clearly stated Krieg had made a pact with Zariel.
It's true, and that would have been after the raid into Avernus as well.
Yep. 50 years ago? That would have only occurred.
About-ish, yeah. The date that you know specifically. Relevant to things.
and mainly fiends, devils use those puzzle cubes. So, what if Zariel's not on our side anymore?
I mean, that's certainly possible, but I don't think angels can become like fiends, right? I mean, they're angels.
Well, the sides might not be clear. She might think she's on the good side, but if the good side means taking the people of Eldorado.
And Rhea would speak up. If she's still alive, maybe she's captured and she needs help.
Maybe she's gone mad too.
True. She could be being manipulated.
What if she's... It's true. Somebody just said something that made me think, what if she's still fighting and brought all of Elturel there to be soldiers like the Hell Riders before? Basically just summoned her own army down there.
And that's kind of what the pact.
Yeah, I remember it said that they were basically fit to her. I didn't remember it specifying for what purpose, for what end goal.
Well, I mean, like the puzzle box.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That contract that the puzzle box said. It didn't say what they were forfeit for, right, Donald? It said that Forfeit?
they basically, I think it was along the lines of vowing to serve Zariel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe.
I mean, I could
I
pull
think-
up the exact word.
That's okay. I was just basically trying to. Basically, Edmund was musing. Maybe she's still fighting the quote unquote fighting the good fight and has wrung all her Hell Riders to her fight.
That's what Ray is
So-
assuming.
Rhea, if we go down there and we bring them back up, that's not going to save them. We're going to have to find a way to break that contract.
Well, I'm sure if it's a situation where Zariel just needs help, she'd be willing to let them go if we help her. If she's
the-
just trying... Oh, go ahead.
The contract might have just been satisfied by her bringing them down.
Yeah, that's a good point. What if they're there now and we just leave?
Easy.
It's a lot of ifs.
Well, only one way to find out.
Considering that Krieg wasn't able to be revived and he signed that contract too. His
Well, he
shadow
wasn't
was
down
that
there.
of a demon too. I'm thinking it might be a bit more difficult. But we'll see when we get down there.
Agreed,
Also-
says Rhea.
If, although this is a larger scope of a contract, more powerful, if it is anything like Duncan's contract, don't you think it would have been cleaned out by now if it had been fulfilled?
Oh.
A
That's
blank
true.
puzzle box, so to speak?
No, that's probably true. But I imagine it's not fulfilled unless she has everyone. And he kind of just points over to Rhea. I mean, there's at least one right here.
There's more of us that survived.
Yeah,
I'm not the only one, but there's few.
Everyone that was at Borskar Bridge, probably. Or at least most of those. Right?
A lot of those are dead.
Well,
But yes.
no sense in speculating any longer.
That's true.
Get some answers.
Should we go call on our Oh! Yeah, I still need to finish reading this book, but that's another story. Should we go call on our favors?
Yes, says Ray. Yes, says Trisha.
It sounds like that's what we're doing.
Trick,
And
do
yeah,
you
and
want
actually, that I mean, I was gonna wait until after we even. I suppose now is the best time. We are as good a time as any to bring it up. Trisha, are you absolutely certain this is something you want to do? I mean, this is a lot different than just being a squire for a Knight of Helm. This is
She gives you a wounded look.
a literal hell.
She gives you a wounded look. Do you think that I wouldn't be... that this is something I would be able to reject? Something I wouldn't be able to do? As a follower of hell? You can't be seriously asking me that question right now.
You're right. It was totally a test. Let's move on. You passed. And begins to walk off very quickly.
Rhea gives her a pat on the shoulder. Says, "You did good."
But he
Alright.
does smile as he walks away. Like, legitimately. He is pleased with her answer. He still doesn't necessarily want her to go, but he gets
She
it.
is so dead if she goes.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Oh my god, she is so dead.
Edmund gets it, though.
Yeah. Alright, so are you guys visiting Silvira?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, you make your way through the gates and make your way back up to her spire. She's lying on her back on the ground, and there's papers strewn all over the place. And her closet is just knocking things off tables like the world's worst cat. And it hisses when it sees Slobberchops. Slobberchops hisses back. And like Slobberchops has like the classic like hair standing up, and there's like this visual standoff. And then Slobberchops moves forward first, and the thing hauls ass and runs away. It's like on top of a cabinet somewhere, and Slobberchops is just kind of down below, content looking at it. If a cat could smirk, it is smirking right now.
When is a cat not smirking? And also, Slobberchops has got to have the most statically charged hair all the time.
Alright, Silvira kind of notices the commotion, and she's like lying on the ground. She looks exhausted and kind of looks over at you and says, "Hi."
Why are you on the ground?
Sometimes I get a better perspective on thinking like this. Easier for the blood to flow. I would go upside down, but I think I'd have no way of righting myself if I did so. Perhaps if I used magic. And you hear her start to mutter things under her breath, like she's considering some weird way to hold herself upside down to improve her thinking power.
How tall is she?
She's like 5'6".
Okay, I'm 6. I gesture over to Eben to grab a leg, and I gently pull her up till she's upside down.
Do you do this, Edmund?
If she doesn't resist, sure.
Yeah, when you pick her up, she like kind of freaks out a little bit. What are you doing? And the closet hisses from the bookshelf. And then Slobberchops hisses at the closet, who hides behind like a human skull on top of the...
Well, this closet is terrifying.
Slobberchops is no joke. Put me down.
Nope, yeah, sure.
I put her back down.
Just trying to help.
She kind of brushes herself off and says, "Thank you, but I'll find a better way, I think. Thank you. So, how can I help you?"
I think we're going to call in our next 2 favors, our last 2 favors.
Oh, excellent. All right. What's the first one? What do we got going on here?
Okay. I do. Hopefully, I'll ask a question if it's not a favor. Before we ask them, is there a way to break that contract that we found in that box that you know of?
Apps. I can't think of a way aside working with whoever drafted it. In this case, it seems to be Zariel based on the context, and she kind of shrugs. And if that's the case, I don't know. It's what I've been thinking about, actually. And she kind of sits back down on the ground, and she says, "There's got to be a way to deal with the contract or help El Terrell in some way, but without actually going to Avernus, it's hard for me to say the current state of things."
Oh,
Well, about that.
I'm an audibly sigh.
So I guess we'll keep you in touch because that's the next thing. We're going to use the 2 favors. Hopefully this works out. But one, can you get us all passage on those griffins to go see this Traxor War fellow?
Yeah, I thought you would call that in after I let that Rhea. Oh, hi, Rhea. And yeah, that would be an easy favor. I could definitely help you out with that one. What's the other one?
Other one is the law of favor transference. At least that's what I'm calling it now. He apparently owes you a favor. Do you think he could get us to hell? To Avernus, to be exact.
Yeah.
I'm back.
That's a
And
simple.
back.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a plane shift spell. I could cast that spell, actually. I can't cast it within the tower, but going to Avernus is trivial for wizards of our caliber. She kind of brushes off her shoulders a little bit. Or any other plane of existence. Would you be interested in traveling to the plane of water?
At some point, yes. But not today.
Okay.
Sounds like a good retirement plan.
It was kind of a joke, actually. There's not really a surface, so you would just drown. Don't go to the plane of water if you could avoid it, or unless you have gills, I suppose.
Or wings.
No, there's no surface.
Just water.
Oh, it's literally just like water.
It's a plane of entirely comprised of water.
Fantastic. Legit water world.
So yeah, don't go there. Similarly, plane of fire might not be the greatest. I hear the plane of air is quite tolerable.
Also, she showed us a map of Avernus. Did she give us that map? She didn't give it to us, right?
No, she didn't.
Okay. Because if we're doing this, Edmund would bring it up and ask if we could
Have a copy at least.
Yeah, or make a copy of it.
I certainly will not scribe that map.
That's fair.
The last person that did so went insane. The person that created it. I suppose I could let you borrow it as part of... The Griffin favor is simple, but you must promise to return it to me.
Of course. Plus, as when we get back, we're probably going to have all kinds of information about this.
Alright, you're willing to put that in writing, that you're willing to return it to me?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And she kind of snaps her fingers and looks over to her closet Jezebel, who's in a stare-off with Slobber Chops. And she says, "Fetch me paper and a quill." And the closet definitely leaps from the countertop to her table and runs under... what's her name's leg? Jesus, I forgot her name. Silvira. And it kind of crawls up her body and hands her a paper and quill. And she begins drafting up terms.
Yeah. While that's happening, because Edmund's scarred and has PTSD and trust issues at this point, she, upon the point of saying, "You're willing to put that in writing," he almost instinctively activates Divine Sense.
Yeah, so when you activate Divine Sense, you get the sense of fiend. Coming from Jezebel the Closet.
Cool. That's what I figured, but he has to make sure.
Yeah. She writes up terms, and it says that the signee agrees to return the Candlekeep map of Avernus. Failure to do so will result in servitude of labor until the value of the map is returned in labor.
Which is
unlisted.
We'll probably have an updated version of that map when we come back.
That's good. She kind of hands the paper over to Edmund.
I will put it in the bag of holding.
Wait, did you sign it?
Oh, that paper. Sorry. I thought you meant the map. Is this myself or all of us?
You will... I only need one person to be responsible.
Okay.
Just the signee.
Sure. And, Edmund would sign.
Excellent. And she takes the paper from your hands, snaps her fingers, disappears in a poof of smoke, says, "Well, okay. So you can borrow the map, the Griffin situation, and a favor of Traxagor. Yes, just to cast a plane shift spell. That is normally a very expensive service, but he does owe me, and you did me a very big favor. Okay. I can send him a message in advance and I'll let him know you're coming. And I will also send a message to the Griffin Ward to let them know to grant passage for..." She kind of counts you out 6.
Yes. Us, Rhea, and Trisha, right? 6?
6?
Yeah. Slobber Chops doesn't take a place, so seems right.
Slobber Chops looks at you when you say that.
I mean, you don't take up a seat.
Slobber Chops looks at you and progresses 2 steps forward.
What about our horses and cart? Is there somewhere we can leave them here? Are they going to be, like...
Well, I mean, I assume you're paying a stable fee for your horses.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Do we know how much that is, so? I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth even trying to
It's like a silver a day.
Or do we just want to, like...
We have no idea how long we're going to be down
I mean, we can just give them the horses.
Yeah, either give them to them or
sell them the horses.
We'll pay you a silver a day until such point that it reaches the value of said horse, in which case they are forfeit to you. And they just become yours.
Okay.
I mean, if they're willing to do that.
She doesn't care. She's like, it's a horse in a wagon.
Yeah.
She just kind of shrugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I assume we had to run that by the tavern or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Sure.
All right.
What else? I was adding that map, Donald. Real quick sidebar thing. I noticed we have 2 jars. I think we found them in chests in the maybe with the same place as the puzzle box. Do we know what those are? Just says 2 jars. I think they were in the same smashed wooden coffer as puzzle box in Thirstwell's.
They are.
If we're not supposed to know what they are yet, that's fine. But I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'll tell you if you know. You said it was in the coffer.
Yeah, because it's jewelry box carved from bone, and then the next thing is 2 jars, and the next thing is and that was around the same area as the cube.
I don't see 2 jars in the coffers.
No, let me search my notes.
Yeah, I need to know where you got them from.
In a footlocker in Thirstwell's room, there were 2 jars.
Thirstwell's room. Hold on.
Yeah. And an interesting cube.
Didn't you destroy the jars?
Maybe.
I think you forced the chest.
Oh, it wasn't that one. It was.
Not that one. Yeah, that was what's her face's chest. We tried to force, and that didn't work.
Oh yeah, the Lady Thirstwell.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we got rid of Amric's remains, so those. Also, does Eldrin want the kit?
The what?
The Poisoner's kit?
Yeah, keep it just in case.
No, I didn't know if you wanted it. Like, I didn't know if you could actually use it.
Not at the moment.
Gotcha. Cool. We can look this up later if you need to.
They're potions of healing.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just happened to see them on there, and I was cool. I will add those to my inventory for now. I'll add them in my inventory for now. We can figure out who is missing them, if anybody.
Yeah.
Figure that out later.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Do we need to do anything else, folks, before we head out on this crazy thing we're about to do?
I need about a day, or however long it's going to take me to read this book, and then I'm good to go.
Oh, fair. That's right, you're still reading your Tiamat book, and we got to return all the other ones.
The flight. You could probably read it while you're flying.
Well, he has to return it, right? Or she has to return it.
If you're talking about this out loud, you would be told that Traxigor is a member of Candlekeep.
Oh, cool.
So if you just give it to him, that would be suitable.
Oh, nice.
Will do.
Okay. What else do you want to do?
Get going.
I can't think of anything else to do inside of Candlekeep, unless anybody else has anything.
All right. Well, if
I
you
asked her about the boat, just because we're leaving.
she would say, it's been here for a long time. I don't know a lot about it, as I generally am pretty focused on the 9 Hells. I haven't really researched it or anything. There are people here that have certainly researched that boat, though. And from my understanding, it's the result of a ship being stranded during a storm. The water was very high. Her story is very different from what you were told at the inn.
Wait, someone said it was Condor there, so the ship actually ran aground up here when the water was high enough to reach there?
She laughs and she says, everyone here has a different story for the ship. People always ask about it.
Is there a way to go to the ship?
I mean, you could fly to the ship. You could teleport to the ship. You could climb the scaffolding that's holding the ship up.
Oh, I'll do that.
She just kind of shrugs. She says, if you do end up following your crazy plan, if you could bring me some vials of devil ichor, or she's starting to go through her notes, looking like you could tell she just wants.
She's
stuff.
talking about the Avernus plan, not the boat plan, right?
Yeah, the Avernus plan.
Just making sure. I was like, there are devils there?
Like, what?
Anything interesting I would be willing to pay for upon your return. But I do need more ichor. And I suspect with your group, and she kind of looks you all over, you will generate plenty of it. She would say, be careful not to ingest any of it or get it on your skin, though.
Devil Eater?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make a habit of doing that, so that's good. But
well,
thanks.
With your weaponry, you might accidentally if you get it on yourself, you should get it off. Unexpected effects, but effects that I want to make expected. I want to understand it.
That's fair. Is there anything that you know of in Avernus that we should absolutely avoid?
The Blood War.
The what? I'm sorry?
There is a constant war raging in Avernus between devils and demons. If you found yourself somehow in that battleground, I fear you would not last very long.
Good to know.
Avoid the blood war.
It'll be fairly obvious. I've been to Avernus before. It's constant and never ending. And usually it's taking place near the river Styx. By the way, don't drink any of that water.
Got it.
Also, she keeps like thinking of random facts, and she just kind of starts like spouting stuff off. Your food's gonna taste like shit. I've never seen a settlement there.
What do people eat?
Shit.
That's not gonna be a problem.
Your food you bring with you will taste like shit. It's an unfortunate effect. Randomly, sometimes fireballs will spawn out of thin air. Be aware of that. There's nothing you can really do about it, but yeah. She just starts saying things. Wait, I don't want to discourage you from going. I'm going to stop talking. She kind of smiles.
I guess I would ask her about where to get like food and water.
I mean,
If
there's creatures and food, and like it's a pretty desolate wasteland, but there is some edible, and she kind of groans when she says it. Plants.
Would the library have anything on like the flora and fauna of Avernus?
There's not much variety. Just
Okay.
Anything you eat will probably be safe in regards to the plant life. Don't eat devils. Oh god, don't eat devils. Bring some rations with you. If you're lucky, you'll wander into the Wandering Emporium. They have stores and provisions there.
That's in Avernus?
There's so many things there. It is mostly fire and brimstone, you know, the classic stereotypical situation. But there's a lot of things going on there. And she would say, also, you might encounter El Terrell, and I imagine that there's food there.
Oh, probably true.
But I mean, I don't know how long you're planning on staying. Like,
I guess it's fair. If all of Elturel went, then I guess any like livestock they had went with them.
yeah, my reports and divination has shown that there's just a giant crater where El Terrell was. The companion isn't even in the sky anymore.
Huh.
And she starts thinking out loud when she says it. I wonder where that went. Interesting.
Did they get something
Can you
else?
not divine between planes?
Depends on the spell.
I meant that as a collective view, not you specifically.
I'm sure it's possible.
Just curious if anyone would be able to actually determine if...
I don't know if it's possible into Avernus without getting the attention of somebody, though. I certainly wouldn't scry into the Nine Hells.
We'll probably... Knowing our group, we'll probably garner plenty of attention once we get...
You should have tried to avoid that.
Oh,
We'll
I'm
try.
sure we will. But...
Mortals in the Nine Hells are used for pretty much one purpose.
And that's disgusting.
Wait, what'd you say?
And it's disgusting.
I suppose. They just want your souls. Inevitably, you will be probably forced to make deals of some sort while you're there. Just be careful to read the fine print.
Are they used like dogs?
Ooh.
Humans?
Oh, no. Their souls ours, I suppose. Turn them into minions in that blood war I told you about. You'll likely see thousands of poor, wretched souls doing combat.
You said poor wretched souls, or anything of poor unfortunate souls.
Poor unfortunate souls!
Picture all of the people that have been like captured, whatever, by a like slug thing she turns people into.
I mean, if you look up lemur, it's not too far.
How do you spell it?
Lemure.
Was Ursula just a pit fiend?
Ursula was definitely some sort of
Oh, wow.
like devil or something like
Also, I love how I'm getting also lemurs. Sweet. I'm getting lemurs or whatever they are, and my Google search results are on point right now. Suggested search result Madagascar. I love this. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, read the book on the way, I guess. If we have nothing else here to do, we can just get on our way.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
She like the present.
She bids you good luck. You go to the Griffin Paddock, and they were informed of your arrival in advance via a message spell from Silvira. Trisha says, "I don't suppose this is a good time to bring it up, but I have a fear of heights." She kind of looks at you.
These griffins fly every day, and they fly hundreds of people. Look, safest method of travel they get. Okay. Even safer than horse and carriage and walking down the street.
I thought you were gonna say Spelljammer. I thought you were gonna break out like actual flying ship memes.
Oh no! I was trying to equivalent it to flights are safer than cars and stuff like that.
Okay. She like walks up to a griffin nervously, and the thing like turns its head at lightning speed and looks at her, and she kind of yelps a little bit, and the guy helps her on and calms down the griffin, and you all board griffins.
Yay!
And you set forth on flight to the southeast. The location has apparently already been given by Silvira, Traxagor's Tower. And you read book on the way. What information were you looking for specifically? Oh, there's nothing about Finpock. There's nothing about Archon at all.
Okay.
So
it's cults, basically, of Tiamat, just mainly.
Yeah.
Worshipping their dealings, what they're doing with the Tiamat, blah, blah, blah. Anything that would be immediately important for me to glean over from this book, I suppose.
Honestly, most of the information you glean is stuff that you would have probably assumed. The biggest piece of new information that you're reading, it actually seems to be penned in relatively recently. Like, a lot of the book is old, but it seems to be an active work in progress. Like, maybe someone's adding things to it at a later point. Like, there's empty pages towards the back of the book. And there is mention of Tiamat specifically being imprisoned in Avernus. So it seems as though she's not there of her own choosing.
Interesting.
But other than that, it's basic stuff that I think you would already know. Bad guys. She's female, has one head of each dragon color type. Her cultists work for her from afar. Much like other dragons of chromatic varieties, she is very, very greedy and possessive of her belongings. You know that her place in Avernus, she has what are called Abishai at her command, which are devil or dragon-like devils. So they have features of both devils and dragons. She has legions of them. You would also know that she has a consort of each color of dragon. So big old, like, daddy dragons of every color: red, blue, green, etc. Like her own harem, I suppose. And yeah, nobody tends to mess with her because she's powerful. Despite being trapped there, it's almost like she's being kept there intentionally as some sort of deterrent for something, but the book is just speculating on that. But that is what you learn.
Okay.
The ride is the second you get in the air, Trisha's screaming bloody murder. But these things fly pretty well, and they go swiftly to Draxicor's tower. It takes some time. It's a little far away. So you're on this thing for quite a while, like several hours at least. You're confident you saw Trisha barf off the side of it at one point. But it's otherwise uneventful ride. No air encounters. That would be a disaster for this party, I think, except for Edmund. And in the distance, you see a mountain range, and atop the mountain range, you see a tower, seeming very out of place in this mountain range in the air. But I mean, I guess you were kind of expecting it because you were told there was a tower there. But normally passing by, this would be a pretty awkward sight. The griffins land in a place that seems to be actually dedicated for them. There's like a landing area on the side of the tower. And once you set down, the griffins kind of just wait there. And before you is the open archway to a tower. What would you like to do?
Get in there.
You get in there. All right. So, there's the floor that you're on seems to be like the top of the tower, and there's stairs going down. And going down the stairs, you see a cluttered chamber illuminated by various objects. You expect that they've been magically enhanced as they're producing a fire, and it's on objects that would normally not kind of emit fire. Scurrying around the room is an otter dressed in a tiny red, I don't know how to say this word, cassock? Cassock? Cassock. Cassock. You should
Yeah, I
Google.
would guess Kasak, but I don't know what that is. I'd have to. I'm
Yeah,
Googling.
Google Kasak. It's an otter. And strangely, the otter is
It's like a
scurrying
clergy.
around, mumbling something to itself. And it's saying something about a tuning fork. And suddenly it kind of turns and takes notice of you. And it kind of stands upright on his little otter legs. And he says, "Lulu, wake up! Our guests have arrived." And at the sound of that, a small elephant with golden fur and wings appears from under a pile of blankets near a table strewn with alchemical equipment.
Wait.
The elephant takes to the air on feathery wings and lets out a pleasing trumpet sound. And he kind of notices you and he says, "Oh, if you could just bear with me just a second, I'm looking for the tuning fork for the spell. Could you help me find it, actually?"
Sure.
This place is a wreck. There's stuff all over the place. It's not too dissimilar from Silvira's tower situation. There's stuff all over the place. If you could two of you give me, up to two of you, give me a perception check?
Sure.
Won't be me.
Probably Antavilla and.
Well,
Derek?
you could, actually, you know what? Everyone can help out on this. If you want to help out, roll. I'm not limiting this one to two. He's kind of
Yeah.
like scuttering around. Let's get everyone involved in the search.
First roll of the session. It's not a D100. D whatever. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Eldrin, kind of scouting around with your trained eyes, you see the tuning fork, and just as you're reaching for it, Antamila's already there. And she grabs the tuning fork in hand. Derek, I would like for you to give me a 1d100 roll.
Okay.
Also, how big is this little elephant?
He's a little tiny elephant.
20.
I think it's small sized. 20.
Okay.
I'll look it up though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so
make
when,
it a full-size elephant, or even a baby elephant.
looking around to Derek, you find a glass jar containing a weird bit of flesh floating in pickled fluid.
Mm.
It looks disgusting. But you find that while looking for the tuning fork. Everyone else just turns up papers. Well, everyone else being Edmund and Trisha and Rhea.
I kind of let a sigh, gross, like, as I put this down, and I turn to the otter in a cassock, and then point to the flying elephant thing, and say, "Did you say its name was Lulu?"
Ah, yes! This is Lulu, and I am Trexigor.
Wait, what?
Pleasure to meet your acquaintance, and he says, he kind of points at each of you your names.
Antonella.
Okay.
Edmund.
Okay.
Eldrin.
Okay.
And then I do a very overly gracious bow, like I normally do to strangers, and say, "Derek Gurathon."
Okay. And Trish is like, "Trisha!" And Ray is like, "Rhea." Okay, pleasure to meet you all. Like I mentioned before, I am Traxigor. You are doing me a bit of a favor by letting me get out of my deal with Silvira. So I appreciate you coming to her and indebting herself to you, as now I won't have to worry about her holding it over my head. So I heard that, and she notices Traxigor notices that Antamila is carrying a key, and he says, "Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Could you hand that to me? I need that for the plane shift spell."
I hand it over.
Excellent. And he kind of taps it against the table, and it makes a humming sound. He says, yes, this is the right one."
Also, before you go guessing any spells,
Mm-hmm.
there's a matter of getting back.
I mean, I suppose I could come back and get you.
Is anyone going to ask the obvious question? Address the elephant
It's
in
a
the room?
wizard. What do you expect? They can do.
Why are you dressed in that robe?
I find it to be quite stylish, don't you? He kind of
Why
like,
are you an otter?
one day I was experimenting with a greater polymorph spell, and I found that I liked this form better than my original, and so I've kind of stayed here. I had to have someone get a wish spell prepared for me to make this permanent, but it has worked out quite well for me. I enjoy it quite much. You should try it sometime.
That's utterly ridiculous.
Would you like for me to cast it on you so you could experience what it's like to be an otter?
Temporary.
Also, Maurice, I heard that and I don't approve.
Yeah, he's dropped like 12 puns, by the way, if you haven't noticed.
Oh, I only heard the otter.
The elephant in the room? Are you serious? Like, get out of here, guys.
Yeah, I don't know that Edmund actually knows that. I think it was only Derek that knows
Also,
that.
who's weirdly breathing directly into the mic occasionally? Just throwing it out there. It stopped right when I said that, so someone knows. Someone fucking knows.
I think Derek's the only one that knows the name Lulu, which is appropriate. He's the one that asked.
True.
Yeah, and Lulu would introduce herself. I had a voice prepared for Lulu, but I can't do it. It's so weird.
Wait, the elephant talks?
Oh, the elephant talks.
This gets better and better.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's... I'm just gonna say... I'll just do a... I'm not gonna go crazy with the Lulu voice. I'm just gonna do like a little kid impersonation. Okay. That's what it says.
Elephant noises.
And she would go, "Hi, I'm Lulu. Nice to meet all of you." The voice was originally going to be freaking weird by the like, "Where? I'm Lulu." Like,
The batteries are dying.
Actually, yes.
What?
My sisters used to do that. It would be like, hungry.
But that's what she sounds like. Dying Furby is the voice.
Furby with battery dying.
Oh my god, no.
I'm dead on the inside. All right. So yeah, Lulu also introduces herself. Yeah.
Why are you an elephant?
And she kind of looks at you and says, I was born this way.
Oh.
Why are you the devil thing?
Long story that I don't know all the parts about, actually.
Huh. Interesting. She kind of flies around you and inspects you. She says, "Huh. Interesting. By the way, when she's talking, it's in your head."
Oh, that's
Speech.
Oh Lord.
So-
Does that make her a telephant?
Oh, Reese, lose inspiration.
Oh no!
Wow. That's
Yikes. Omega yikes.
That was golden, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I hate you so much. And Lulu would say, I used to stay with Silvira. But her little monster thingy wasn't very nice to me, so she thought I should stay here.
Yeah, Jezebel's a bit of a jackass.
And Slobberchop starts purring when you say that. And yeah, good.
I would like to affect it. I want to talk to Lulu and ask her, Lulu, can you hear me? But not actually say it. Like I'm thinking it really, really hard.
You don't get a response.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's telepathy is not like two-way. Unless you had telepathy as well, or if it was like a message spell, it doesn't really work that way.
Yep.
Yeah. She would say, and Traxigor's like busy setting up, like clearing papers out of the way, and he's got his tuning fork on the table, and he's drawing symbols into the ground. And Lulu just keeps like flying amongst all of you. And she says, Silvira told me you were going to Avernus, and I want to come with you.
Have you ever been to Avernus? That place doesn't seem like a place for a flying, tiny, golden elephant thing.
She kind of looks offended. If you saw the hurt in a flying golden elephant's eyes, you might not be so mean to Lulu.
I wasn't being mean, just trying to statistically.
I'm powerful. And she kind of goes to blow her trumpet, and Traxigor says, No, don't. This place is already a mess.
Oh.
And Lulu kind of feels better. What?
Lulu, have you been to Avernus before, Lulu?
Yeah, I was with the angel Zariel when she assembled her army of Hellriders to attack Avernus. Through the gate we went, tearing through devils like a song through air.
Wait a second.
Wait, you were there?
Yeah.
Hold on. Didn't the story mention a golden mastodon? Are you that stupid golden mastodon?
I don't know. I don't think any of us know that. Other than
I think it was just mentioned on the original, like wrote in on a golden mastodon. We don't know anything more about it, like the name. Just
that's true. You
Yes.
do. Yeah, you do know that she wrote on a song. Right.
Well, I consider myself fairly strong, so if there's stories about my glorious triumphs, I wouldn't doubt them. Well, when we ran through the portal, victory was within our grasp. But some of the Hellriders betrayed us. They ran away. They retreated through the gate and sealed it behind them. I was left behind.
how did you get out?
I can't remember, actually, and that's part of the reason why I want to go back to Avernus. But there are some things I remember. For example, before she was captured, Zariel told me to hide her sword so that it wouldn't fall into evil's hands. Someone helped me hide the sword, but I don't remember who. We found a place to hide it, but I don't remember where. I escaped Avernus, but I don't remember how. Most of my memory is gone, and I don't remember why. And she kind of pouts her head a little bit.
I try to reach out to hug this elephant.
She does not resist your hug. She, in fact, embraces you with her trunk.
Oh, this is the most adorable, silly ass elephant ever.
So, Lulu, would you say you are a very close, personal companion
That is adorable and terrifying.
Wait, because you're... I think so.
And I'll even ask it very loud, like deliberate, kind of yelling, being like, so you are a close, personal, I'll say friend. I don't want to muddy it up with companion. Zariel.
I think so. I went with her at least. And I helped her. I don't remember everything.
Does it? Okay.
But I think so.
And so you want
Do
to
you
go
know
back
what
down
happened
there?
to Serial?
I don't.
She was captured, you know
Well,
that. But
yeah, but
By whom?
that was a long time ago. By devils. A lot of them. A lot of them. I do remember that.
Can I insight?
Yeah. Yeah,
16.
so you think that Lulu believes that this is true, but you could tell like she's pausing a little bit, like trying to think. You could tell that she's not 100% confident in everything she's saying. She's like pausing and struggling to remember things. But she thinks that that's true.
Okay.
Do we know what? Would any of us know what she is? What Lulu is?
Give me a religion check. 2 people may make this.
Please. Because I'm like, what?
I would like it not to be me if possible, but I am the one that asks the questions.
Yeah, if you ask it,
I would say
I'm gonna go ahead and make a religion. Let's hope that 4 helps.
I'm just saying that
Can I use guidance?
No, get out of here.
Okay. I ask, you know.
You
otherwise
could
I'm
ask.
gonna-
Yeah, you have
That's
no clue what the hell this thing is. It's a flying elephant.
I love that all my religion checks are fucking terrible.
It's adorable though. Adorable AF.
I was gonna wait, but I guess we're already playing 50 questions. Lulu, you were there the day that Ariel and the Hell Riders went to Avernus. Do you remember someone named Gavriel being there?
She sits there thinking, it sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. I think so. Think so. And she's kind of just floating around inspecting all of you. And she says, I'm sure if I go there, I'll be able to remember some things. Maybe retrace my steps, places I've been.
I wonder if a restoration will help with memory loss.
So... Alright, so Traxagor is sitting here. He's still setting it up, and he's like, okay, so... Got the tuning fork, got the circle. I can cast the plane shift spell. It's a pretty high level spell. I can only cast it once per day. But it's certainly within my power. Do you have any questions or thoughts before we go?
how would you know when to come get us?
That's a great question. You should tell me. I could certainly come back and get you, but you have a time preference? Do you have a place where you want to go specifically in Avernus? And Ray immediately speaks up and says, El Terrell.
Yeah. If I were to do ascending to you from Avernus, would you get it?
Let me read sending. I don't know the answer to this as a DM.
I don't know the answer to that one as a player at all.
Yes. There's a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive, though.
But then you can try again.
You can just cast it
You
again.
can just
Yeah.
cast it again, yeah.
You don't know if it succeeds or fails. I will not tell you this.
I guess if you don't
If they don't respond within a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you can assume that either they didn't get it or they're not responding, and then you can try again.
Right, yeah, I mean.
I mean, I suppose that would work. Traxagor says, if you want to send me a sending, I could come. You just have to give me a obvious location. And he says something like El Terrell, for example. I didn't know that El Terrell was in Avernus, but but yeah, if you give specific locations like that, the plane shift spell will work better. We can get closer to our intended target.
Okay.
That would work.
If not El Terrell, do you know of any locations that we can use as a point?
I
Could
don't
we
know a
pull
lot
out the
about.
map?
You could certainly pull out the map. He says, though, he would say specifically, I don't know any locations in Avernus. I don't really want to go to a place with devils.
I don't
It's.
think a Potter has any business in Avernus anyway.
Well,
I'm a powerful wizard, I'll have you know.
Yes, but
I know we're very resilient and
modern.
all that, but in the case that we lose something,
That's
we
fair.
can't send a message. We should set a maximum in this amount of
Well,
time.
yeah. So how long?
Get
How
us in
long?
this place.
Say that no matter what, what's our? If we haven't succeeded by then, we should just come back.
2 weeks.
I mean, what are we trying to do? How are we trying to save this?
I don't even know. I mean, Trexigor, if we find El, can you transport an entire city?
No, that is well beyond my capabilities.
What if you got? What if you got all of Candlekeep to help? I mean, surely they'd have to want to bring back an entire city of innocent people, right?
I could certainly ask about it. I'm sure that Sylvira's already looking into something like that, though.
Well, perhaps at least it will be a scouting mission, if at the very least.
That's true.
If we have to go back, better than nothing.
So how long do we want to scout for? About a week? 2 weeks?
Say 2 weeks is probably good.
Sure.
2 weeks it is.
Okay, so in 2 weeks, if I have not heard a sending spell beforehand, I will travel to El Terrell to gather you at the place where I dropped you off.
Yes.
If something changes about that place, I'll try and send a sending spell.
Yeah, just let me know. If you need me earlier, just send a sending spell.
Or later.
Or later. Yeah, just let me know.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. So, any other questions before we go?
Yeah, I have quite a few.
Oh, excellent.
Hey, Derek again. I'm actually just here to get some information about the companion.
I've spent the last several decades researching it, so you've come to the right place, actually.
A huge sigh of relief escapes Derek, and he's like, "Oh, thank you."
Well, what can I tell you? I love talking about the companion.
So what I know about it, it was summoned about 50 years ago in protection against a vampire, to aid in the defense against a vampire.
You've done your homework. Yes, true.
I've asked around quite a lot. What I don't understand is how it was summoned. And I guess to the effect, it sounds like perhaps a pact was made, but I'm trying to understand.
Ooh, interesting.
What is it?
Wait.
Its magical properties, perhaps.
Yeah, what's a solar incendiator
Hold on.
radiator thing?
Pause. You said something I didn't know. How do you know that it was brought here by a pact?
Custom a favor.
I turned to Rhea. That's why we keep him.
Wait, what'd you say?
That's it.
turns around.
Okay,
It'll
okay.
cost him a favor. He's kind of already going out of his way for it.
I know.
I mean, I assume
So-
that my favor would be information sharing with my fellow scholar here.
So I suppose this is actually my own detective work, making some assumptions. But we had recently come across the I forget his title, but pretty much Thavius Krieg.
Oh.
And I had several opportunities to speak with him regarding that, and he made it sound like he had made a pact, and I personally find it very interesting that about the time that he did, the companion showed up. So I'm going out on a limb here saying 1 and 1 is 2.
Oh, interesting. It was just guesswork. Well,
So I'm hoping to speak with you to maybe cross-reference and correlate some of these things to confirm some of my suspicions and theories.
well, I suspect, due to the sheer power of this object, that its origins must be of another plane. Obviously, there's no way that someone here, even a powerful wizard as myself, could not conjure a ball of light that lasts for 50 or so years, that illuminates true sunlight. Conjuring sunlight is certainly possible in short spurts. There are spells that are used to this effect, but generally it's not something that would last so long. Short-term bursts. Sunlight is pretty powerful, and conjuring it takes a lot of effort. Based on my knowledge of magic, I strongly suspect that the source of the power of the companion is some sort of actual extraplanar creature. I think that there's something in there, whatever it is, that is emitting that light. I don't think that it is simply a spell. My attempts to divine the origins of the school of magic have not indicated any sort of traditional magic school, such as conjuration, evocation, nothing of the sort. So it leads me to believe that it's, I suppose you would say, natural sunlight from a source that was brought here magically. I'm very interested in the source. I don't know how it got there. The rumors are that Torm himself appeared before Thavius Krieg and gifted it to him, as you had mentioned, to defeat a vampire incursion. But I don't know the origin, but I strongly suspect that the origin of the light and the making of the companion is some sort of imprisoned creature.
If
That would be awesome.
Derek is looking around for like a chair to sit and
There's actually not a chair. It's a cluttered
he's like,
mess.
Yeah.
Do
He's
we-
doing exactly. He's like stroking his goatee.
Question: do we all know the phrase "solar incendiator"?
Yes, that was read out loud by what's her face?
Right.
Silvira.
Yeah.
So,
I
does he
think
know
can't
what
really even mention the name. I mean, does that sound like any kind of creature Traxor knows of? Like name of a? Is it?
So you say solar incendiator?
Yeah. Like, is that a name of a creature? Possibly. If you're saying it's some kind of creature, is that, I mean, it's not a creature I've ever heard of, but I'm definitely not knowledgeable in this kind of thing.
You would
You're
say,
supposed
I've never heard of a solar incendiator. I suppose I've heard of a solar, though.
Oh
Wait,
wow, I didn't even
A
think
solar?
about this now.
Oh. What's
Interesting. Where did you get that phrase? What is that from?
We tell them where we heard it from since we.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Oh,
fine.
there was actually a written contract with the devil?
Mhm.
No.
Well,
Interesting. You have different answers on that. What do you mean?
Wait, did somebody say yes?
One of you said yeah, and one of you said no.
sort of
Oh,
like,
I
Well,
well,
it's a bit
assumption.
perplexing.
Yeah.
The contract, if I believe, based on my hearing, it had indicated that Thavius did not, perhaps tried speaking with Torm, but instead contacted Zariel.
Oh, this makes sense. I didn't get it. So naturally when you think of light, you would think of good creatures, right? Like things that are good, positive. And it didn't really make sense for me. Once I determined with 93.79873 repeating, of course, percent certainty that the origin of the companion was some sort of entrapped creature, it didn't make sense for me that a good god like Torm would imprison a creature and keep it there just to provide light. Because to me, it would only make sense if it was a good creature emitting that sort of radiance. So that makes a lot more sense if there's a possibility that there's a devil involved.
And so when you say devil, I mean, everything that I think we've read in the history books, the scholars had said Zariel was an angel who attacked, descended upon with the Hell Riders, and she was lost to fiends. Do you think? So I guess one of our suspicions is Zariel. Zariel, in fact, did not fall during the battle, and she's perhaps being manipulated by fiends.
Something
Lulu
like
would say Zariel would never work with fiends.
Well, her name was on the contract.
It's probably a forgery.
Is something like that possible? Could it just be a forgery?
I have no clue.
Sorry, I was trying to. Sorry, Lulu. I didn't mean you.
Oh, okay. She's like doing barrel rolls through the air, somersault.
Otter Trexigor. Do you think that's possible?
I don't know. Silvira would probably be the person to ask that question to. I will probably have some discussions with her. But I think that I would assume strongly that it has to be a powerful devil, or at least a devil that had some sort of celestial being trapped to be used as a bargaining tool. I'm starting to wonder. This requires more research. Unfortunately, the companion is not here for me to research. Interesting.
You cut out heavily.
Oh
the
no.
The companion was what?
I think you said, unfortunately, the companion's not here for research.
Yeah.
You also cut out for me.
No!
The companion is not here for me to research.
So. Okay.
Cut out again!
He did, but I got it this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well.
Interesting. I mean, I could sit here and talk with you about it if you don't want to go. With your friends.
I mean, I feel it's been a very long flight. As we're preparing this spell, is there accommodations we could spend the night and then head out in the morning? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Oh god, what is happening? I'm like watching the Twitch, and Maurice and Elion are like laughing at something, and I have no clue what they're freaking laughing at this whole
I think
time.
it was all the cutouts.
It's
Yeah.
all the cutouts.
Because we each kept trying to tell Derek something, and both of us kept cutting it.
Traxagor would say, yeah, if you want to stay the night here, just find a couple of books to sleep on. I don't have like a bed or anything.
I have one question though, just a simple one, just to make sure I'm getting this right. The companion, as far as we know, absolutely shed light, like some type of solar sunlight, good aligned light. Definitely, right?
Yeah, it was sunlight.
I give Derek a very strange look.
I don't know if light can be good aligned.
Oh,
I
sunlight.
mean, radiance certainly, but
Radiant.
yeah, this certainly behaved as sunlight.
Daylight spell. Anyway, yeah.
All right. Why were you so interested in the companion? He would ask you, at Derek.
Well, you see, I've been afflicted with this ability for as long as I can remember. And, I'll do the standard show-off, dark, miasmic shit going on in my hand. And I've been on a very long journey trying to understand as much about magic as possible. And all the arcane avenues kind of led to nothing. So I decided to begin researching otherworldly effects, perhaps deities of a sort. And our adventures had recently led us to Elter prior to it disappearing. And truthfully, looking at the companion, I was feeling nauseated. An experience, and I'll explain how I felt. An experience that I had never had before.
Interesting. You're the first person during my research that I found has had a specific adverse reaction to the companion, aside from vampires, of course. He kind of Otter laughs at his own joke. And says, and you said it started when the companion was formed?
From my research, I believe my powers were awakened in my childhood. About the time the incursion occurred, the two seemed to align.
Intriguing.
That also may be the first time I think I've said that aloud to everybody.
Dun dun dun.
I can't remember. I just kind of look around like...
That your powers manifested with the time the companion?
Yeah. So early in my childhood.
Yeah, because Derek's older, right?
Yeah, I'm a half-elf.
Yeah, so you're like... Aren't you in like your 50s or 60s? Yeah.
65. I'm 65.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is like, what, 26?
29, I believe, I mathed. My late 20s.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I don't know why that may be, but I will certainly research from my end. I wish that I had access to the companion. With the knowledge you've given me, perhaps there are additional tests I could perform. I'd maybe treat this more as a prison rather than a spell.
I mean, you mentioned... I can't believe I didn't think of this, but you was saying solar incendiator, and you said solar. I mean, do they give off radiant light?
I don't know. I've never encountered such a high-level celestial creature. Those are very powerful creatures. I'm certain that if one were to try to create a powerful magic effect, capturing something like, like a dragon or some powerful extraplanar creature might yield some effect. I've personally never tested such a thing, obviously, but intriguing. He keeps like when he's thinking out loud, he kind of just like he like goes into ultra think mode. He's trying to figure things out. But perhaps solars are very powerful from my understanding. I don't know a lot about them, but
In my research readings on Zariel, did I understand what she was?
I was actually about to ask that same question. Zariel
As a celestial being.
Yeah, like what level?
More to it, exactly.
Yeah, and Lulu would actually chime in on this as well. Like, she was high ranked. The book probably wouldn't use the term solar, but from context clues and inferences, you would expect that angel equals solar generally. So, probably yes.
Wait. Art, hold on. No.
I have so many more questions.
Oh yeah.
So little answers. One answer turned into 30 new questions.
Is it? Now I have to get the timeline of everything right. The raid on Avernus, did that happen before the companion was put into the sky?
Oh yes, well before.
So
I guess not well before, but definitely before. Actually, it was well before. It was, I think, perhaps several hundred years.
No, that wouldn't have made. That doesn't.
Oh, look at this party trying to super sleuth story reveals.
Yeah. Do you believe
in life after love? Yes.
No matter how hard I try.
Is there perhaps some way that if Zariel was afflicted, I'm sure you've kind of perhaps heard of this philosophy of like dual nature. Everybody has a blend of both. That perhaps her angelic manifestations have been placed in the companion.
I suppose it's possible. I mean, again, I'm pretty confident it's a creature trapped in there.
But what if she was in there the whole time?
Yeah, but what would be strong enough to trap a solar? Certainly not the Hell Riders of Eldron. No offense, Ray.
Another Solar?
No.
Okay.
Because perhaps, if you remember, based on the book, Zariel and Gavriel had both fallen. Perhaps it's not Zariel in there. And I turn and I look at Edmund.
Yeah. I mean, if Gavriel was trapped in the thing, would she be able to communicate with me? Well, I mean, maybe that's why her communications are so limited. Maybe because she was trapped in there. And maybe that's why I haven't gotten any more, is now opinions. I don't know. It's not really,
You say Gavriel out loud again?
Yeah.
Edmund, and you hear a distant voice that says no. It's really distant. It almost sounds like the wind blowing.
Like sternly, or
Like as soon as you say, "Is it Gavriel? Is it possible that Gavriel's trapped in there?"
right?
Almost like you know how you would hear like trees rustling and maybe hear a noise or something. You hear. You're confident that it's someone saying no to you. You don't know why. Nobody else hears it. But the timing on that is weirdly coincidental. Perhaps it is a coincidence, but
Yeah.
Or maybe it's ironic.
don't you think?
No. So, yeah. I mean, he probably like kind of like stop talking for a second and just like perk an ear up type thing, like just try to listen.
While you're listening, Lulu flies around and starts asking questions.
Doesn't hear anything else, so he just goes back to maybe.
Everyone
Maybe
sees
not.
Edmund space out for a half second.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He
kinda like
goes
space
full
out,
potato.
Yeah, like he's like kind of like one side of his head tilts up, like he's listening for a second, and then just like kind of shakes it off. He's like, no, maybe not Gabriel. I don't know.
All right.
Something.
Well, I guess I didn't need to rush this thing. He kind of says as he Traxigor says as he puts down a piece of chalk. You guys want to just sleep on some of the books? That's okay by me. I'll just go over here and keep researching things.
I mean, I guess what time of day is it?
I mean, I guess it is getting
man.
kind of late. Yeah.
How
Like-
long was the flight? Those kind of things.
Yeah, like it is at least 4 hours. You left early afternoon, so it's like early evening, like maybe 5 or 6.
I think if we're gonna set foot in hell, we should probably be well rested.
There's not really daylight down there, so day and night might get really awkward for you to keep track
That
of.
has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I actually looked. There's a out of character. There's an orb of something. It basically tells you what time of day it is, but apparently it only works on the material. It's like a common magic item. I was looking at it for us, but I don't think it would work there.
And there's no shops left in the entire Forgotten Realms.
Oh, I mean, when we were looking for the closures. That was one of the items I was looking at. See if they had.
All right, so you guys gonna take a rest? Derek, do you have more questions for Traxigor? He's happy to talk about this without any need for exchanging stuff.
Yeah, I probably do, just not at the moment. I'm thinking through everything. I do want to take some time and turn towards the party.
Okay, party moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so it's pretty much was like, oh, guys, yeah, I mean, if we're going to spend the night, we should probably unload the griffins, right? You can come out here and help me.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah. Sounds like a good idea.
Cool. So really, the only thing I'll be like, everything Lulu said seemed to be genuine, but I think that may be just because she doesn't remember anything. We should just keep an eye on her.
Am I not supposed to be here for this conversation?
Oh man, it's at passive 9 perception. And look around.
Lulu kind of bows her head and flies away sad.
Oh,
Oh,
you
God.
hurt her feelings now. How can you not trust that lady?
It's not necessarily her that I don't trust. just the more and more information I'm getting, I'm rather wary of encountering Zariel, and who knows what would happen if.
Oh. If she's been to Avernus, it's at least some sort of guide that we could have.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, definitely. Just I just think you guys
better than nothing. Let's just hope we don't have another. And
keep an eye on her.
Have to look at Rhea for that one, but like another Rhea Creed moment.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
are we gonna be ready to go down there first thing in the morning?
I think we procrastinated.
I think we came here prepared to go, right? Can't
Yep.
think of anything else we need to do.
We should probably have some brekkie before we go, though. Some delicious eggs and bakey. Says Trisha in the manliest voice you've ever heard.
It's probably it's like a Band-Aid ripoff, right? We could probably find a million excuses along this to not go to a literal hell. But it seems like we all have reasons to go, and
Well, I think I still need a few hours to process what I've just heard.
yeah.
Rhea would look at you, Derek, and says, I don't think it's a coincidence that we've all kind of gathered. I think we all have business in Avernus. And she would say, perhaps the companion is with El Terrell. It disappeared from the sky. We heard them say that. Perhaps it went with the city.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
And it might be.
Fair. You also bring a very valid point, Rhea, that all of us seem to have some sort of connection to Avernus. And slowly turn to Trisha and go, Trisha, what happened to your previous paladin again?
And
Edmund just almost like it's very curious.
Huh.
And Trisha will mysteriously say, I don't think it's the right time to talk about such things when we're trying to have good morale.
I think now is probably a better than later.
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Would you like to stay here?
Okay. I mean, you don't have to, Trisha. It's just, we all seem to have some sort of connection with Avernus to some degree, maybe even with each other. And I'm just, it may not be coincidence that we're with us now.
I follow Helm's plan. I'm sure I'm meant to go here. I will stay. I'm not afraid.
Except telling us what happened to your previous paladin.
I've tried to bring it up in the past. You're just trying to be a party pooper. She kind of like pokes you in the forehead.
True.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's crash here for the night and head out first thing in the morning.
Give Derek some time to see if he wants to go with us or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All of Traxagor's books are just magely in nature.
Wait, what'd you say?
All of Traxagor's books are just magely in nature.
Yeah, it's the drawings of the.
It's not like if we went through his books, we're gonna find anything additional to the things that we checked out books for. Basically.
No, yeah, it's all stuff related to the campaign.
Just making sure we're not gonna find like ASMR Plus here or.
No,
Plus.
I'll continue to say no. The more things you ask, I will keep saying no.
That's what I thought, but just making sure.
Yes, no. We've already had library session. You've already had shopping session. We're done with books for years.
Well, I hope not. Tomes would be great.
And then pulls out the ledgers from his. No, just kidding.
All right, so you're taking a long rest in Traxagor's tower.
Yep. I have one conversation I would try to sneak off in the night to talk with Traxagor.
Yeah. Anthemila's probably going to notice you sneaking off, even asleep, because it's just disadvantage. And Disadvantage on passive perception is -5, so give me a stealth check. If you're literally trying to sneak off. Okay. A lot of people are probably going to notice you, but they might not act on it or do anything. In the middle of the night, anyone with a passive perception of 11 or higher, considering the -5 from sleeping, you might wake up to the sound of a Derek clumsily bungling his way towards Traxigor.
One off.
I
Sleep
think
like a
it's only Eldrin and Antamila.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will. Lulu is like buried under stuff, so she's not going to hear you. Traxigor will also not notice you. He's a sleeping otter on top of his desk and a little makeshift bed. It's adorable.
Oh no! Now I feel bad for waking him up.
He's a little otter. What do you think he's doing? Is being awake? No, he's being otter, getting otter sleep.
Yeah. So I'll try to whisper his name in an effort to wake him up.
And like he's muttering in his sleep. He's like solar insidiator companion. And he wakes up and he's like, what? How can I help you?
I've been giving everything a lot of thought based on what you said, and I have just one last question. Maybe get your opinion on this. The powers of it I've had since childhood. I've always felt they were a curse. They've done generally they usually have done no good and just kind of bring pain and death around me. And as I'm perhaps thinking that these aren't magical but divinely given, I've had this fear. Do you think that these powers are derived from an evil deity? Do you think I'm evil? Am I just a pawn in some messed up game?
And we kind of rub his eyes. He's like sitting there, like trying to wake up. He's like, "That's a really big question."
But I mean,
I feel like I don't know the answer to that, right?
I guess generally speaking, the companion, if it's thought to be of radiance, and I was getting nauseated from it, then what else is there besides radiance? Darkness and evil.
Well,
Mhm.
he says that sometimes things can be corrupted. So perhaps you're looking at this the wrong way. Perhaps it's not. I mean, I suppose you won't know the answer to this until you know what you need to know about the companion. But perhaps it's the exact opposite. Perhaps there is something. And I guess he would look at you. Your magic, you said it was. You were. I guess you just happened to suddenly have it.
It manifested many years ago.
The reason I ask is magic generally comes from two sources. One, magic can be learned. Actually, I should say more than two sources, but you'll get the idea of what I'm saying. One, magic can be learned by books, study, practice, understanding how to manipulate the weave through words and somatic movements. 2, magic could be granted, such as via gods, thus clerics. I'm sure you've heard of warlocks, granted magic by patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third way I know of getting magic is by being a sorcerer. You are just naturally born with the gift. And so when you consider the source of your magic, it is obviously not the first. The second, perhaps, it could be that you were given a gift, although I find that gifts are rarely given for without a reason, thus leading to the conspiracy. Or possibly you were born into it. If you are what we consider as a sorcerer, someone that is not asking for their power or is not asked for their power, perhaps it is literally in your bloodline. I don't know what the companion has to do with any of this, but just consider the sources of magic. That's the only advice I could give you.
You're right. Thank you for this chat. I'm sorry I disturbed your sleep.
He's like, I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. I'm certain if I had access to the companion I could tell you more, but without knowing where it is... And he just kind of, as he's saying it, he's kind of slowly drifting back to sleep. And he starts muttering Solar Incendiator in his sleep again.
Can I rub his little otter head?
You may rub his otter little head. There is no resisted roll or defense roll made.
Yeah.
Head pats. Acceptable in anime and on otters.
He wakes up, casts True Polymorph, turns you into a newt.
No, he would turn him into an otter so we could head rub him forever. Alright.
If anybody's seeing that, that's incredibly surprising because, again, like Derek very rarely touches any living thing.
Aww. And he didn't die or melt.
Yep. And he goes back to sleep. Derek goes back to sleep.
Okay.
Traxagor goes back to sleep forever.
Oh my gosh.
As Derek twists the otter head. The question was rhetorical. I am evil. Whoa, creepy. In Reese's room. It was terrifying.
Oh my gosh, guys. Alright, next morning you wake up. Draxagor has made breakfast for you. Because he's the best otter. Using Mage Hand to lift various things that would normally be beyond the capabilities of otter hands. Eggs and breads is pretty much it, with freshly squeezed juice.
Probably the best breakfast we've had in a while, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Lulu inhales her portion. Not through her snout, through her mouth. Because
Right. This isn't a children's cartoon.
elephants don't eat through their nose, kids.
Because contrary to what Looney Tunes would have us believe.
And he asks if you're ready.
We were born ready. Puts on sunglasses.
Let's do it.
Alright, so we're gonna get the perfect end of session. It's 10:58, boys. Traxagor grabs his tuning fork and asks you all to stand in the circle that he is drawn on the ground. Does everyone step in the circle, or is anyone staying out?
Nope.
All right.
There's a moment of hesitation, but lastly you see Derek take a heavy sigh and step in the circle with everyone.
Traxagor nods at you, and he taps his tuning fork on the ground, which resonates with a strange otherworldly sound, and begins making arcane incantations The circle on the ground glows, and all of a sudden, the party finds themselves in a place where they were not before. A hot, stinging air assaults your senses. The city street in which you stand is lined with buildings that are crumbling, if not already collapsed. The ground shudders beneath your feet. In the red, smoky sky, a 400-foot diameter sphere of darkness discharges strokes of bluish-white lightning that strike the city at irregular intervals. Perched atop a distant bluff overlooking the rest of the city is a crumbled fortress. Everyone notices Traxigor look up at the companion very nervously, the black orb in the sky mirroring where the companion used to be. And he utters a few arcane syllables that none of you understand, and he kind of disappears. And that is where we will end for tonight. As you see a group of devils chasing a woman holding a child with another child following behind through the streets of El Terrell. Dun dun dun! Alright. We're going to go ahead and end there for tonight. Thanks, everyone. Have a